All right, all right, all right. Welcome, folks. How are you? It's Julian Gordon here. And in chat, please let me know that you can see me and hear me. Good to have you here on this Tuesday evening. Let me see. Anybody in chat, can you see me and hear me? Let me know. Great, loud and clear. Shelton, Maev, Catherine, Clarissa, Latricia, Yolanda, Sabrina, Aisha, Christina, Joe, Miriam, Willie, Satavia, Jay, or Jai, Jamita, Elizabeth. What's going on, y'all? Glad you were here. Thank you for being here on this Tuesday night. I want to welcome you to the Multifamily Master Plan. I have a lot to share with you in a short amount of time. So in all honesty, I know people will be coming in still, but I want to jump right into it. So I'm going to share my screen with you really quick. And in chat, please let me know that you can see my screen. Please let me know that you can see my screen. And if you can see my screen, let me know, what market are you looking to buy real estate in? What market are you looking to buy real estate in? Let me know in chat. Okay, don't give me states, give me markets, which are cities or counties, okay? Dallas, New Orleans, that's where I'm at right now. The Bay Area, another Dallas, Charlotte, Atlanta, Portland. It's going too fast. Bronx, Houston, Detroit, Boston, good. Pittsburgh, a lot of people in the Northeast. Atlanta, Rhode Island is the only state that's small enough to be called a market by itself. Rocky Mount, I got family in Rocky Mount. Oh, that's beautiful. Tampa, okay, beautiful. So we got people from all over tonight, and that's really exciting. And I'm gonna show you how this game works, all right? So real quick, before we move forward, I want you to type in this URL, and I want you to go grab the worksheet. And if you have a printer, go ahead and print this out real quick. Hopefully you are in your home office or something like that. You got a printer near you. I just pasted it there, all right? And I'm gonna paste a backup. Now, a lot of you are gonna be hitting it at that URL at once, and the server may time out. Just keep trying, and if it doesn't work for whatsoever reason while we're going throughout the webinar, just take notes. Just go get a pen and paper and take notes. The worksheet is just there as a guide to help you and support you in downloading the learnings that I'm gonna be sharing with you tonight, okay? So I'll give you a couple seconds to go get that, print that, and then we're gonna get started, all right? So again, for some of you, it may time out because there's a lot of you, there's literally hundreds of you here right now going to that URL at the same time. So if it times out, then just keep trying throughout the webinar and it'll open up. And if not, just take notes, okay? You're not missing anything major, okay? So cool. All right, so with that, I want to welcome everybody to the Multifamily Master Plan, where I'm going to show you how to finance, find, and finalize your first multifamily real estate deal and literally start living for free. Yes, that is my promise tonight. Now, of course, given the economic environment we're in, this is a little bit different edition. This is the coronavirus edition. I've updated this for y'all to let you know how coronavirus is actually affecting real estate in general, especially multifamily real estate. And it's actually counterintuitive what I'm going to share with you tonight. Okay. Now, who am I? I know that most of you did not show up for me tonight. Many of you don't have a clue who I am and haven't met me yet, but I want to do a quick introduction just so you know that I know what I'm talking about. Okay. So my name is Julian Gordon, and my purpose is to free 300 people like Harriet Tubman to pursue their purpose through entrepreneurship and multifamily real estate. My professional background when it comes to real estate, I built a $3.9 million real estate portfolio with 10 multifamily homes and 30 doors that generate about $36,000 per month in rents. And I did all of that in just 6 years, okay, on the side. This was not my primary business, but as I kept building my real estate portfolio, people kept asking me, Julian, what are you doing? How are you finding these deals? And here I am sharing this information with you. My real estate portfolio returns about 13.8% annually. The S&P 500 over the past 20 years, for those of you who have your money in stock markets or 401k, it actually only returns 4.23% over the past 20 years. Okay, I ran those numbers myself. And so the asset class that I'm sharing with you tonight actually returns 3 times greater than the S&P 500 or the average stock. Okay, my Properties have also appreciated by almost 20%, some of them which I've only had for a year and a half because I bought right. And that's what I'm going to talk about. You're going to hear me say that over and over tonight. And I'm founder of the Freedom School, where I teach liberation arts education, how to help people get free financially, mentally, spiritually, etc. And I'm leader of the multifamily movement. Now, I want to be very clear. I'm not a licensed real estate agent, and you do not have to be one either to become a real estate investor. Okay, I want to make that very clear. I don't know where that lie is out there or where that assumption or myth is. You do not have to be a licensed agent to be a real estate investor. Is that clear? Please let me know in chat if that is clear. You do not have to go take any exam. You don't have to do anything. You just have to know how to finance deals, find them, and finalize them. All right? You don't need to go spend any extra money. You don't have to become an agent or anything like that. In fact, a real estate investor and a real estate agent think differently. And I'm going to explain how in just a second. Okay. Now, I'm going to be very transparent tonight. I'm going to keep it real with you about real estate. And one way to show that to you is that I'm actually going to show you my actual real estate portfolio. These are the 10 properties that I control. Okay. I'm not just going to say I have 10 properties. I'm actually going to show you the properties. I have keys to all of these properties. All right. My journey and also I have not paid a mortgage payment on any of them because I bought multifamily real estate. The moment I purchased this first property in 2013, a triplex in Brooklyn, New York, I stopped having a housing expense. I have not paid a housing expense since May of 2013 because of what I'm going to show you here tonight. So I purchased that first one in Brooklyn using a 3.5% down loan program, which I'm going to talk to you about tonight. And then I was trying to buy another property in Brooklyn, but your second property, not your first, your second property is actually 25% down. So when the average price of a home in Brooklyn is $1 million, 25% down is $250,000 down payment. That's not even including closing costs or any fixes that you have to do. So I realized that if I wanted to be a real estate investor, that I could not do it in Brooklyn, I would have to go elsewhere. So I started looking at other markets, and some of you are in some very expensive markets and will have to find other markets to invest in. I want to make this clear, y'all. Your money does not have to work in the same city as you do. I'll repeat that. Your money does not have to work in the same city as you do. Some of you own Apple stock and you've never been to Cupertino. Some of you own Nike stock and you've never been to Portland, Oregon. Some of you own Amazon stock and you've never been to Seattle. All right. So just because you're in an expensive city and it may be hard to buy a property there, doesn't mean that you can't actually invest in real estate wherever there is an economic opportunity. All right. Now, so after that, I decided I was going to invest in another market. The market that I found was New Orleans. And I bought this duplex I had this triplex actually that I'm in here in New Orleans. And then I bought a duplex in Oakland, California, where I'm from. I typically encourage people to invest in 4 places. First, try to invest where you live. If that's not economically possible, then invest where you're from, okay? And if that's not possible, then invest where you want to be a contribution. For me, that was New Orleans. And if that's not possible, then just invest where you're going to make an economic return, okay? Now, after I acquired these 3 properties and I was on 3 coasts, my identity changed. And I believe that I am are 2 of the most powerful words in the English language because that's what God calls itself in the Bible. And whatever you say after I am tends to manifest. So I changed my identity from I'm just a home buyer, right, to I'm actually a real estate investor. And when your identity changes, your being changes, your doing changes, and your having changes. So once I accepted the new identity as a real estate investor, you can see that in 2019, last year, I acquired 7 properties with 25 doors in 1 single year. 1 single year, 7 properties, 25 doors with what I'm going to teach you tonight. So this is my portfolio, 30 doors, 13.83% cash on cash return, 20% appreciation, $36,000 in monthly rents. So I celebrate on the first of the month. Most people hate the first of the month, and $3.9 million in value. Okay, so what I'm teaching you, this is not just me. I've been able to teach this framework to other people. These are some of my students, the Roll family. They have a 4-plex in Los Angeles near the University of Southern California. The Campbell family have a duplex in Charlotte, North Carolina, where they live rent and mortgage free. This is Jackie Hall Cooper. She bought a triplex and a single family home all in one deal in Philadelphia. Amina West, she actually owns a property in Brooklyn, and I helped her find a 4-plex here in New Orleans. Dante is from New Orleans. I helped him find a duplex here. And Spencer is actually lives in Texas, but bought a property, a duplex in his hometown of Cleveland, Ohio. So what I'm showing you tonight, it applies to anyone, anywhere, and I'm excited to teach you, okay? So tonight I'm gonna show you the multifamily math, how to quickly and quantitatively evaluate a real estate deal in less than 10 minutes so that you can make an offer before anyone else. The only thing that beats a cash offer is a fast offer, okay? So you have to know how to evaluate deals quickly, and you have to have the confidence to make your offer. The next thing I'm going to teach you is the multifamily map, how to find great emerging markets, neighborhoods, and properties near you or from a distance that will provide great cash flow and potential appreciation. And then I am going to show you the multifamily mindset, how to think like a real estate investor when it comes to wealth, money, real estate, and debt. Okay, so this is what we're going to cover. Now, the mindset is the number one thing. See, a lot of the tactical things, the tips and the tricks, you can go to YouTube, you can go to blogs, you can go to podcasts, you can go to books, and you can try to piece all of it together. But the biggest thing that stops people from investing in multifamily real estate is their mindset. So I want you to know that I owned my mental real estate before I owned any physical real estate. I'm going to repeat that. I owned my mental real estate, my own thinking, before I owned any physical real estate, okay? As above, so below. As above, so below. On earth, as it is in heaven, okay? So you can see that I teach a little bit different here, all right? And I have a very spiritual lens in terms of how I think about land and real estate. In fact, if you look at the Bible, land is actually one of the number one gifts. Besides offspring, land is one of the number one gifts that God gives to people, okay? So I just want you to be aware. That's why this is so important and so urgent right here and right now, all right? So you've heard me say my big promise tonight is to help you understand how to get to rent and mortgage freedom. Now, what is rent and mortgage freedom? Rent and mortgage freedom is the process, okay, of buying real estate, or the result of buying multifamily real estate, which has cash flow that eliminates your housing expense forever, okay? It is the result of buying multifamily real estate, which has cash flow that eliminates your housing expense forever. So the moment I acquired that first property in Brooklyn, I've never had a housing expense ever since. Why? Because the rents from the tenants actually cover not only the mortgage, property taxes and insurance, and all the utilities, but also provided me with cash flow. So imagine not having to pay rent or mortgage expense for the rest of your life. For most people, their mortgage or their rent, their housing expense takes up 1/3 of their revenue that comes in from their job, okay? Now, what would happen for you if with one single decision, you achieved immediately rent and mortgage freedom? What would happen to you if you didn't have a housing expense for the rest of your life? Let me know in chat. What would happen for you if you didn't have a housing expense for the rest of your life? Okay? Financial savings, early retirement, I could travel, more savings, interest, freedom, savings, legacy. Nobody wants to spend more time with their family. Y'all quarantine up with your family. You trying to get away. Some of y'all realize I hate my family. Some of y'all trying to get away. No, I'm joking. I know y'all love your family, but everybody needs a space, okay? When you have multifamily real estate, you can take space if you need to, all right? So I know one of the big questions out there is, what about that Rona though, okay? How is that Rona affecting everything? Obviously, the coronavirus over the past few months has changed the entire economy. So how does that actually apply to real estate? Now, in the end of the last recession, okay, in 2009, 2010, you can see that the average single family home was worth $208,000, okay? $208,000. Okay. You see this dip here. This is the same dip that we're in right now. When all of these people who went into forbearance, actually their bill comes due in the summer and the early fall, guess what? That's when that dip in real estate prices will occur. And this is what I'm trying to prepare you for here tonight. Now, if you would have bought a single family home, even if you would have bought a single family home in the midst of the last recession while everybody else was afraid, that same home today is worth $324,000. So you'd literally be up 116 racks right now in your net worth, not necessarily in your cash flow, but in your net worth if you would have bought while everybody else was scared. Okay, so this same dip is occurring within the next 3 months as forbearance comes to the end. And this is what I'm trying to prepare you for with tonight's webinar. Okay, so also the other thing about multifamily real estate is that These are the past two recessions, 2000, 2001, 2008 to 2009, these gray bars. This is rents, okay? This blue line is rents. What happens to rents in the midst of a recession, y'all? What happens to rents in the midst of a recession? You can see that rents go up. Wait a second, Julian, how are rents going up? People losing their jobs, all this kind of stuff. Why would rents go up? Well, here's what happens, y'all. There are people who bought single family homes that were too big for them. They stretched them. They bought a 5-bedroom home when they only had one kid because grandma's gonna come over for Thanksgiving and Christmas. So we need an extra bedroom for grandma. So they overbought, and now one of them loses their job. So what happens? They either have to sell at a discount or they get foreclosed on. So they get foreclosed on, and what happens? Where do they go? When they get foreclosed on, they become renters. Okay, so now there's more people who need to rent, but the rental supply, the number of rental units has not changed. So when demand goes up, but supply has not changed, what happens to price, y'all? When demand goes up, but the price has not, the supply has not changed, what happens to price? Price goes up. Okay, so this is why rents increase in the midst of an economic recession. So here we are at a very unique time, okay, where rents are going to continue to rise. And if they continue to rise, but your salary isn't rising, then that makes it harder for you to save. And then once we come out of this dip and the prices of real estate continue to rise, then guess what? Now your down payment becomes harder, you're saving less, and it becomes harder for you to ever make a down payment. So honestly, if you don't take action in this window, there may come a point in American history where you will never, ever, ever be able to own a multifamily property. I'm not saying that to be tongue in cheek or anything like that. I'm trying to keep it as real as possible with you about real estate. Because what's happened is there's a gap between the rich and the poor. We know that. Okay. And Occupy Wall Street has demonstrated that. George Floyd's death has demonstrated that people are angry and the gap is getting wider and wider and wider. Right now, you can get across the gap. Okay. You can get across the gap when you buy right, when you make a great decision to invest. Okay. But if that gap gets wider and wider and wider, there will come a point where if you were born into poverty or even in the middle class, you will never be able to get to the other side because the gap is too large, unless you get a financial windfall because your mother or your father died and they left you a life insurance policy that yielded millions of dollars, no matter how hard you're working. So I want to make sure that you can get to the other side before this gap gets too wide to be able to even cross it. All right. Now, when it comes to multifamily real estate, I want you to know that this is the most proven business model of all time that I'm teaching you. Many of you are on the wrong side of it right now as renters, right? When you think about the feudal system was in Europe in 900 AD. And in the feudal system, kings gave land to lords in exchange for loyalty. Kings gave land to lords in exchange for loyalty. So where do you think the word landlord came from, y'all? It comes from the feudal system. So this business model I'm teaching you is literally 1,100 years old. It is the #1 subscription business ever. Better than Amazon Prime, better than Netflix. I can't guarantee you that Amazon will be around 1,100 years from now. I cannot guarantee you that Netflix will be around 1,100 years from now. But I can guarantee you that as long as there are human beings on the face of this earth, that multifamily real estate will still be here 1,100 years from now, and it will be more valuable than almost any other asset on earth. Okay? So one of the big obstacles that people have when it comes to thinking about buying real estate is that they think it costs too much. And what they don't know is that real estate is one of the most leveraged assets in that the average American can access. And I'm not calling you average. I believe you are all extraordinary. Here you are on Tuesday night in the midst of an economic recession and coronavirus, and you are seeking to learn. And also racial tension in our country, and you are here trying to build a better future. So that alone, I consider you extraordinary. Okay. Now, I want to share with you, this is my actual W-2 in 2012. Remember, I bought that home in Brooklyn in 2013. And you can see in 2012, I only made $36,000 in my business. I started my business. I was ready to jump ship. I jumped ship January 9th, 2009 at the bottom of a recession. Why? Because I was pulled by my purpose. Okay. And so I didn't care what the external conditions were telling me. I knew that I was being pulled to do something greater. And here I am in front of you over 10 years later, having being more prosperous than I could have even imagined. So sometimes when it comes down to it, you can't let external conditions determine the decisions that you make. So in 2012, this was my W-2, $36,000. And this is the W-2 that they used to qualify me for the mortgage that I used to buy that property in Brooklyn. So I got started in multifamily real estate when I wasn't making a lot of money. I got started in New York City, the most expensive market in the world. I got started while I was an entrepreneur, and I got started within 3 years of an economic recession. All right. So a lot of you have taken yourself out the game because you believe that you can't afford it. It says it is done unto you as you believe. So you've taken yourself out the game. If you have not gotten pre-approved, then you have no clue what the banks would be willing to lend you. If you have not gotten pre-approved, then you have no clue what the banks would be willing to lend you. So in chat, please let me know. Say pre-approved or no. Type pre-approved or no. Have you been pre-approved or not? Over 90% of you have not even been pre-approved. It costs you nothing to get pre-approved. In fact, my homework for all of you is to go get pre-approved by Friday. You have to submit some documents like your tax returns, your savings accounts, your credit score, and things of that nature. But everybody here by Friday needs to go get pre-approved. It costs you nothing to do that, to figure out how much would the banks lend to me based on my current cash, which is my savings, my cash flow, which is my proof of income, and my credit, which is my ability to pay back debt. Okay? Everybody's homework is to go get pre-approved. Otherwise, you have no clue what the banks would lend you. I had one student who thought that he would only get pre-approved for $350,000, and that wasn't going to be enough to buy multifamily properties in his market. And when he actually submitted his documents, the bank approved him for $500,000. Okay, so stop taking yourself out of the game. Everybody here has to go get pre-approved, and at the very least, it'll at least show you where the gaps are in your profile, and you can work on those gaps so that you can qualify for more. All right, so everybody here is going to get pre-approved. For those of you worried about your credit, 5 lenders can pull your credit within 30 days without it affecting your credit score. Okay, but to get pre-approved, I'm just asking you as homework to go to one bank to get pre-approved. All right. Now, when I'm talking about multifamily real estate, what am I talking about? Am I talking about 60-unit buildings that you see when you drive by the freeway? Some of you are living in some large apartment complexes. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about duplexes or doubles, triplexes, and fourplexes. Okay. There are only 2.6 million 2 to 4 family homes in the United States. They only make up 18% of the rental supply. So we're looking for this very specific asset that you can acquire right now. Okay. And the reason why is that financing for 2 to 4 family homes with 2 to 4 units is the same process that you would use for financing a single family home. Same exact documents, nothing additional. Once you get to 5 units, that is considered commercial. Okay. And that is a different type of loan product. But for a 2-family, a 3-family, or 4-family, it's the same loan process, y'all. Okay. So this is why I say that this is accessible to the average person. And if you buy a 3-family or a 4-family in the right way, if you buy right, you can achieve rent and mortgage freedom with your first purchase. Okay. So that is the focus of tonight's webinar. All right. So this is for you if you are a renter or single family home buyer who wants to be receiving rents monthly instead of paying rent or mortgage to someone else. This is for you if you're committed to creating generational wealth for yourself and your family and by having your money work for you instead of you always working for it. And this is for you if you're willing to make the short-term sacrifices necessary to guarantee long-term financial gains and freedom. All right. Type me if that is you. Type me in chat if that is you. Somebody say, yep, that's me. Before I even ask the question, that's me right there. All right, cool. So given that, I want to ask for your permission for something. If I give you some real game over the short time that we have together, can I take 10 minutes at the end to share an opportunity for you to consider if you're really serious about making this happen, making sure that you buy right, making sure that you don't make any mistakes, and making sure that you accelerate your process? If so, type yes in chat. All right, cool. I appreciate that. For those of you who are not interested, I'll let you know when I'm sharing that opportunity. You can sign off. It's all love, okay? But I'm going to give you enough game during this webinar to actually chew on and go take action on. But if you want to accelerate your process and you want to make sure you do it the right way, then I'll share that opportunity with you. For those of you who do stay to the end, I will be giving you a list of down payment assistance programs, okay, organized by state. So I know when I did the roll call earlier, you were all over the country, and I have the list of down payment assistance programs organized by state that you can use. Literally some grant money, $5,000 grant towards your closing costs, or if you take this class, it'll let you roll in your closing costs into the mortgage, or may even pay your closing costs. So I'm going to share that list with you. For those of you who stays at the end, Zoom lets me know who stays to a certain time, and I'll send out that list via email tomorrow. Okay, it'll be via email tomorrow. All right. So with that, how many of y'all been on some boring webinars before? How many of you been on some boring webinars before? I see hands going up. Your hands are blocking my entire screen right now. Okay. So tonight we're going to have a little bit of fun. It's going to be a little bit of straight talk and tough love. We're going to go on a little bit of emotional roller coaster, but I'm going to kick this webinar off with a poem. I understand multifamily real estate in so much depth, all the vocabulary, language and I seek to be able to transfer this knowledge to you to show you the importance of ownership, that I'm willing to get creative and even rhyme. Okay. Why? Because I'm homeschooling my daughter now, and how do kids learn? They learn through rhyme. So I wrote a poem for you called the Multifamily Poem that I want to share with you in hopes that it inspires you and helps some of this information that I'm sharing with you land. Okay. Multifamily poem. Why don't we hack houses like frat houses where everyone living good for just a few thousand? Some will say it's lousy while they slaving proudly, spending 1/3 of their revenue to pay for housing. Living on your own, but you don't own ish. Can't even get a loan, student debt is up. Thinking a high wage is the way to get rich. Not if your living expenses rise directly with it. Trying to keep up with the Joneses, deep in debt till you croak. I'm gonna live just like the Jeffersons, pretend that I'm broke. Then I'll buy a multifamily, let the rents pay the note. Perhaps you could be my tenant, yo, that would be dope. I keep my cost of living low along with my blood pressure. Cause if you always stressing, it's hard to enjoy pleasure. The man with the most is not the one who wins the race. It's the man with his soul who can look at his own face. 40 acres and a mule is what they taught us in school. I'd rather have 40 apartments and a big money pool. Leverage credit to capital and capital to cash flow. Cash is not king because the interest too low. Some call me a do-gooder. I got good deeds in my name. As the Lord of my land, I'll never be a slave. You can dabble in stocks, lose your shirt and your socks, but the demand for housing will never ever stop. Assets, assets, assets. Passive, passive, passive. These are the two keys to amass wealth quick. But quick is really relative. It's a long-term game. Who you hustling for? Your first or your last name? Boom. When the CD drop in, yo, I'm not a rapper. What did Jay-Z say? Jay-Z say, I thought I told y'all I'm not a rapper. Can I live? I do this because I'm trying to do what I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make sure that this message of ownership gets across to you. And I'm willing to make a fool of myself, even if I have to. Some of y'all say I got some bars, but I'm willing to make a fool of myself and do whatever it takes to make sure that you are smart about this decision of home buyership, right? So that's how much I care, and I'm always thinking about how to get this message across. So let's move forward, y'all. I want to get into myth number one. Myth number one is that I can't afford it, and we already addressed this myth a little bit with my W-2, but I want to change and reframe this for you and really help you understand the mindset. When you tell yourself I can't, what you are essentially doing is you are turning off your subconscious mind. Your conscious mind, which is the mind you think you use when you're awake, only processes 40 bits of information per second. The subconscious mind processes 40 million bits of information per second. Okay, so when your conscious mind says I can't, you literally turn off the processing power of the subconscious mind. You realize when you go to sleep tonight, y'all, that the thing that keeps you breathing and keeps your heart beating, the thing that tells you it's time to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, that is your subconscious mind. It works 24/7 for you. Okay, but when you say I can't, you are actually turning it off. Instead of saying I can't afford it, you simply ask the question, how can I afford it? When you pose a question to the subconscious mind worked for you 24/7, even while you sleep, to find an answer to that question. It will seek like a heat-seeking missile until it finds an answer, even when your conscious mind is asleep. This is why when you wake up, you from a dream, or you're like, where did that great idea come from? It was your subconscious mind working for you while you were asleep, and then it surfaced once you came awake consciously. So we need to make sure that we take advantage of our subconscious mind. So some of you have said, I can't afford it. And the reality is you haven't even been pre-approved and you don't know. You've taken yourself out the game while everybody else is playing, all right? So let's discuss the monthly payment, okay? The monthly payment. On a two-bedroom in the United States, the average two-bedroom is $1,225 in the United States, okay? The average 3.2, the average 3.2 in the United States, the mortgage payment on that would be $1,119. So literally, if we were talking about single family homes, you could actually, it'd cost you less to own a single family home than it would for you to pay rent. Okay. It would literally cost you less. But of course, we're not here to talk about single family homes tonight. Okay. Now, this is what one of my students wrote to me. She said, this is the opportunity cost of you paying rent. She said, Julian, love your online seminar. I really wish I could join, but being a single working mom right now is what's preventing me from pursuing my dream. At this time, I pay $1,200 a month for 9 years, which is insane, for rent to a slumlord who never fixes anything. And if he does, it's used. Okay. So here, this individual has used the fact that she's a single mom as a crutch. Okay. And that's what all of us do. We take whatever area of weakness where we feel the most vulnerable and we use that as a crutch or our excuse for not taking action. How long does a lease last, y'all? How long does a lease last? How long does a lease last? 1 year. And she's been in this apartment for 9 years. Okay. So she could have got on PadMap or apartments.com at any given time and moved if that's what she desired. But she's staying in victim consciousness. Okay. Now, when we calculate $12,000 a month for 9 years, you want to know how much money that is, y'all? She's played a slumlord who doesn't care about her, doesn't care about her kids, does not care about her community whatsoever. She's paid a slumlord $129,000, and that's not including the interest. Now, if I ask some of you to calculate how much rent you've paid since you were living on your own, what did I say in the poem? Living on your own, but you don't own. That's my new rule. You cannot live on your own if you don't own anything. I had a roommate until I bought a property. I had a roommate until I owned. Okay. So some of you are not willing to make that sacrifice, and it's going to take you longer to get to where I am. I believe that you can get to where I am, especially knowing what I know and what I'm sharing with you. But some of you aren't willing to make the necessary sacrifice, and that's okay. If that is your case, just look in the mirror and say, I'm not willing to make that sacrifice. Don't blame the economy. Don't blame your job. Don't blame the white man. Don't blame anybody else. Look in the mirror and say, I wasn't willing. Just be honest with yourself. Say, I wasn't willing. All right. So if I ask you all to calculate your rent, so it makes some of you throw up. Okay. Literally, you wonder why your bank account is low. You can go look at how much rent you paid to somebody else to make their bank account high. So I'm trying to get you on the other end of the equation. Now, in chat, please type in, what is your rent expense? Type $1,000 rent or $1,000 mortgage. Type that in the chat right now. I just want to get a feel for where everybody's at. 1,200 rent, 1,000 rent, 1,300, 2,250, 1,500, 2,600 rent, 1,800 rent, 4K, 1,700 rent, 710 rent, 2,800 car payment. I didn't ask for car payment. 500, move back home, 1,495, 710, 1,100, 5K mortgage, woo, 1,918 rent, 2,000, 1,550. Y'all want to be my tenants because y'all just like giving out money on the first of the month. Y'all can come be my tenants if you like giving out money. I'm going to put that money to good use, okay? It's going to go back into the community, employing contractors and other people, okay? So let's just take $1,000 the average, even though the average is way higher than that. Do you realize, y'all, that if you could keep that $1,000 and invest it at 5% every single month for the next 40 years, guess how much money you would have? You would all have $1.5 million. If instead of paying somebody else that $1,000, you could keep it and invest it at 5%, which is very conservative, every single month for the next 40 years, you would all be millionaires. So the path that I'm showing you tonight is literally a proven path to becoming a millionaire. But listen, this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. I'm going to repeat that again. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It is a get-rich guaranteed over time. Get-rich guaranteed over time. Some of y'all are just impatient. You've been chasing all kinds of rabbits. Some of y'all got caught up in MLM. How many of y'all got caught up in MLM? How many of y'all got caught up in multi-level marketing, some get-rich-quick presentation, you paid your dues, then you had to go recruit people, then you ended a friendship, and now your family won't talk to you. How many of y'all got caught up? Because you were chasing get-rich-quick. You were chasing and get-rich-quick. And there are people who get paid through those, but the people at the top of the pyramid who started the thing is who get paid. People at the bottom don't get paid, okay? So I want you to be able to take big risks, but let's go secure your financial foundation. And once you have that in place, then you will have more freedom to take risk. Okay. So this is why this asset is so important. Okay. So I'm going to start with those of you who are renters. For those of you who are renters, type renter in chat. Type renter in chat if you're a renter. Okay. So for all the, there's a lot of you. Most of you are renters. For those of you who are renters, I need you to accept, I told you I believe in the power of I am, but for a moment, I need you to accept for the fact that I am homeless. You are actually homeless if you're a renter. See, you were only supposed to be renting temporarily, but some of you have slipped into renter's consciousness and you're bragging about, look at my apartment, look where it is. I got Thai food downstairs. I'm right next to the train. Look at this, look at my neighborhood, etc. And the reality is it's not your apartment, but you've told your subconscious mind that this is my apartment, and therefore your subconscious mind has not triggered the reality that you are actually homeless. And I want that subconscious mind to trigger to help you understand that you are actually homeless. You don't have a place to live. So I know when the quarantine is over, a lot of you are going to send out invitations for dinner parties. Come over to my apartment. It's not your apartment. So on the invitation, let's be 100, y'all. Let's keep it 100 on invitation. Don't put come over to my apartment on the invitation. Put come over to Sally's apartment. Come over to Tommy's apartment, because that's where I've been renting for the past 5 years. Put their name, put the real owner's name on the invitation, because it's not yours. So stop lying to your homies. You were supposed to be temporarily renting to position yourself for ownership, but somehow you slipped into renter's consciousness. In reality, what you should have done is you should have moved your boxes in, and you should have never unpacked. You should have never unpacked. You should have been eating off of paper plates, using paper, silver, plastic utensils, etc., so that every time you unlock that door, you remember, oh, this space is not mine. This is just temporary holding place for me until I position myself for ownership. So for those of you who are in that situation, go to Lowe's, go to Home Depot, and start packing right now. Some of you, your leases are up in 3 months. Some of you, your leases are up in a year. You just resigned. That's on you, okay? But to remind yourself that this is not mine, go start packing up and getting ready to go. Start preparing your subconscious mind that, oh, this ain't mine. Why are there boxes here? Oh, because it's not ours. It's not ours. Here we have a person who's literally homeless, who's probably been through some traumatic experience, right? Who's probably dealing with mental illness, probably dealing with addiction, probably has no money in their account, probably has no education whatsoever. And how is it that this person who's sleeping on the bus bench tonight with you, with all your education, your hard work, your good head on your shoulders, right? The internet, a computer, a cell phone. How is it that this homeless person on the bus bench owns as many properties as you? 0. How is that so? Something is off about that. So it's time for you to get up, get out, and get something. So my prayer for all of you who are actually dealing with this is, and I say this jokingly, y'all, okay? This is not serious, but I really hope that you all have more bed bugs and more roaches and more rats in your apartment or in the apartment. It's not yours. But I think that that's going to be the only thing that makes you uncomfortable enough to actually get up, get out, and get something, because it is not yours. You've gotten too comfortable in renting, and the rents keep on rising. So it's time to move differently. Are y'all with me? Are y'all with me? Okay, thank you. Now, for those of you who are single family buyers, it ain't safe, it ain't safe, it ain't safe. Not around me, okay? So for those of you who are single family buyers, I want you to know that the word mortgage literally has the same prefix as the word mortician. So the word mortgage literally means death pledge. The word mortgage literally means death pledge. And some of you have signed a death pledge, a 30-year death pledge. Some of you are actually only staying in jobs that you absolutely hate because you're afraid of missing a mortgage payment. Stop me when I'm lying. You know, the easiest way to retain employees for those of you who are managers is to help them buy a home that they can barely afford. They'll stay with you for 30 years. Some of you literally chose to sign a death pledge and then celebrated. Look at me, I signed a death pledge. Look at my keys. That is not your home, and you know it's not your home. You made a little 3.5% down payment. You own 3.5% of the home. HGTV will have you fooled. Say, look at you, congrats, you're a home owner. No, you're not. You are a home buyer. You are a home buyer. The bank owns your home. Let's keep it real, y'all. You don't own that home until you've actually paid off the mortgage in full. And to make matters worse, your first mortgage payment you already know, was 70% interest. You made $1,000 mortgage payment, it was 70% interest, only $300 went to principal. So let's look at how that transaction really unfolds. If you're a single family buyer, the truth is that the bank buys your home, okay, and then it rents it to you for 30 years. The interest on that $300,000 home with 3.5% down at 4% is $208,000. So literally you bought yourself a home and you bought your banker a home. $208,000 divided by 360 months, that's equivalent to $578 per month in interest that you were paying on your mortgage. So you're talking about, look at me, I'm not paying rent no more. I'm a home buyer. Look at me. No, you're not. You are paying rent, but it's not rent to a landlord. It's rent to the bank for using their money. $578 per month. I have not even included private mortgage insurance. I've not included property taxes. I've not included homeowners insurance, and I have not included utilities. For some of you who bought a single family home with all those additional expenses, some of you are paying more, have more money going out of your pocket due to housing expenses than somebody who is renting the same square footage next door to you from somebody else. I told you I was going to keep it real with you about real estate. And this is the reality. So for those of you who are home buyers, please type in chat. If you feel you messed up, type messed up. And I'm not doing this to shame you. We're doing this to inspire all those who are renters, since renters are the number one people here. We're doing this to inspire them, to let them know, please do not follow my footsteps. Yeah, I may have posted a nice little picture of me on Instagram, but please do not follow my footsteps. Renters, are you seeing this? Renters, are you seeing this? Okay. Now, for those of you who are single family buyers, I have a way out. Okay. There are 6 ways to reverse yourself out of that situation, so you are not doomed. Okay. Hopefully your property has appreciated and we can leverage that and reposition you to start building wealth. Okay. So you're not doomed. There's 6 ways out, and we'll get to some of them in a second. All right. So if you can pay rent, you can own a single family home, but this webinar is not about acquiring a single family home. If you don't want to pay rent or mortgage ever again, you can simply buy a multifamily property. It's that simple, y'all. If you don't want to pay rent or mortgage ever again, you can literally buy a multifamily property. So the down payment, Julian, what about the down payment? How am I going to afford that? I can make the monthly payment, but what about the down payment? Did y'all know that there are actually loan programs out there with no down payment, no closing costs, no points or fees, and no credit score consideration? These are not stock images. These are people I actually know. Mark, he went through this program. He owns a duplex in Inglewood. Chris Cosiro, he went through this program. He owns a fourplex in Los Angeles. And then Kevin, he went through this program and he owns a double in Brooklyn, New York. But because some of y'all told yourself, I can't, then you couldn't even see it. A lot of people think they need to see it to believe it. No, you need to believe it to see it. All right. So what's blocking you is that your intellectual property, what you know, can actually get you physical property. Your intellectual property, what you know, can actually get you physical property. Some of you just don't know enough. So that's what I'm here to do, is to teach you as much as I can in the short amount of time that we have here together. So the number one program that we use is the government's FHA program. And the FHA program is only 3.5% down. A lot of the single family buyers, they use this program to buy their single family, but they realize that there's another way to do it now. So this is the duplex that I own here in New Orleans, okay? $300,000, 3.5% down on $300,000 is $10,500. So literally, you don't own it, but you can control this entire asset for just $10,500 down. Of course, there's closing costs and repairs and things of that nature. There's other things associated with acquiring the property, but in terms of the down payment, only $10,500 down to control a $300,000 asset. Okay, so that program is available. All right, now what we want to do, the game plan that we're trying to execute, is as follows. What most people do in the American dream is they use the FHA program to buy their single family home. Okay, and they put 3.5% down on, just say, $100,000 home. Okay, don't disregard the price of the home, just look at the math. So 3.5% down on a $100,000 is $3,500. But now they are here on this webinar and they want to be real estate investors, but they didn't know that they would have to put 25% down on the multifamily. So the multifamily is going to cost more. The 25% down on $300,000 is $75,000. So when you add up those two down payments, that's $78,000. If the single family buyers who are here literally would have just switched the sequence and used the 3.5% down for the multifamily, watch this. 3.5% down on $300,000 is $10,500. And then after living there for 1 year, which is the FHA requirement, then you put 25% down on your single family home on $100,000. That's $25,000. The total down payments of those two are $35,000. So it's literally twice as easy to buy a multifamily first and then your single family than it is to buy the single family and then a multifamily. Do you all get this? Do you understand the math? Okay, good. So for those of you who came in late, this is my actual portfolio and this is what I did. I bought the triplex. And in fact, I don't even have a single family yet. I don't even desire a single family because it is not an asset. Everything I've bought have been multifamilies. Eventually, someday, at some point in time, I will probably get a single family that I desire, and it'll be paid for by all of the rents that come in from the other properties. Okay? So the play that I'm trying to, this is the play that I'm trying to teach you all to run. Right now, most of you are actually paying rent. So let's say you're paying $1,000 rent to a landlord, okay? And you're saving $250 per month for yourself, right? You ultimately want to become that landlord. That landlord pays $1,500 of that to the bank as their mortgage, okay? And now they keep $1,500. So you want to become the landlord now, all right? Yes, I live in my multifamily. So now you want to become the landlord. So you acquire a similar asset. You acquire this 3-family. So now you move into the first floor, which is exactly what I did in Brooklyn. Now you have rents from these other 2 units paying you. That's $2,000 out of their pockets. That's $2,000 to you, okay? But guess what? You're no longer paying rent here. So that's actually $3,000 shift in cash flow for you, okay? So now what do? You take that $3,000, you pay $1,500 mortgage to the bank. Now you're pocketing $1,500 while also living rent and mortgage free. You're living rent and mortgage free. Now, after you've lived here for 1 year, you don't want to share walls with anybody. You don't want anybody above you. You want your single family home because that's the American dream. Then you move into the single family home that you desire. You rent out the unit that you are in. Now that's $3,000 coming from this building plus the $1,000 you not paying rent back here. And you pay $1,500 to the bank for this mortgage. You pay $1,500 to this bank for this mortgage. And now you have 4 doors. You have your multifamily and your single family. You're not paying a mortgage on either, plus you're stacking $1,000 a month. Okay? So this first step of learning this process is 3 months. Then you acquire the property. You stay in it for 12 months. Literally, some of you on this webinar are literally just 15 months away from achieving rent and mortgage freedom. You are closer than you even know. That's like being a slave 2 blocks away from the Mason-Dixon line. Some of you are literally slaves 2 blocks away from the Mason-Dixon line and don't even know it. You could have just ran for it and dove over the line and been free. Okay? But you just weren't aware of the process. You weren't aware of the steps. Okay? So, multifamily math. If I told you I found an ATM machine that would eliminate your $1,000 a month rent expense or your mortgage forever, and on top of that, give you $90 cash every single month guaranteed, all you have to do is pay $10,500 one time. Would you give up or go get the money? Would you give up or go get the money? Would you give up or go get the money? Literally. If it's paying you $1,090, it will pay for itself in 10 months. This is just basic economics. You have to know how to calculate cash on cash return. This is the most important number when it comes to acquiring multifamily real estate. It's cash on cash return. All right? So let me show you this. This is my ATM machine, and I have 10 of them. Okay? This is my $300,000 duplex. Let me show you the exact numbers. The price, $300,000. Down payment, 3.5%. That's $10,500. The rent, $3,200. $1,600 upstairs, $1,600 downstairs. It's a 5-bedroom and a 4-bedroom. Okay. The rent, the mortgage is $1,259. The taxes, insurance are $335. The capex, repair reserve, and vacancy is $515. This is money that I set aside for future fixes. And then the cash flow that is remaining after that is $1,090. This is my ATM machine, y'all. You've been driving past ATM machines on your way to work, on your way to pick up your kids, on your way to the grocery store. You just couldn't see them as such because you didn't know how the numbers work. That's what I'm here to show you tonight. So let me ask you this. What other business can you buy for $300,000 with only $10,500 down, get financed for the other $289,000 in 30 to 45 days simply by emailing some documents to a lender, have that business immediately cash flow in 30 days, and succeed with minimal time, effort, and experience? Please let me know in chat. There are none, y'all, except for this. There are none. So this is the first business and the first asset that you must have in your family's name. Once you do this, your family is secure. Your family is set. Your family has housing covered for the rest of your life. You have an asset that you are going to be able to pass on from generation to generation. You think I'm ever selling my home in Brooklyn? You think that is ever going to leave the Gordon last name? No. It is going to pay my daughter for the rest of her life. Okay? We've been taught to work for money, but the reality is you want money to work for you. And freedom is when your money is working harder for you than you work for it. Freedom is when your money is working harder for you than you work for it. You see this guy? He was a slave owner. And this is a dead president. And my role is actually to resurrect these dead presidents by giving cash consciousness. I give cash consciousness. I take these dead presidents, this stored energy, because that's all money is stored energy, and I put it into life. Okay? You think I'm going to let this dude just sit around lazy in a savings account when he made my ancestors work for free with whips? You think I'm just going to let him, all of him? You think I'm just going to let him be lazy? No, I'm going to put him to work every single day, non-stop. This is worthless, y'all. You saw how they printed it in the past 2 months. You saw how much they printed. This is worthless. This is paper. Okay? Money is useless until you use it. Some of you think that you're trying to save your way to wealth. This is worthless. You can't eat it. You can't drink it. This can do nothing for you. The moment you get it, you want to get rid of it. Not in a negative way. You want to invest it into an asset that has real value. All right? That's why they talk about reparations, giving it to us as cash. I don't want my reparations as cash. Give it to me as land. I don't want it as cash. Why would I want your worthless, not backed by anything piece of paper? We've been playing the wrong game. You talk to go to school and work for money. You've been playing the wrong game. You were taught the wrong game. It's not your fault. You were taught the wrong game. All right? So when it comes to buying multifamily property, it's different than buying single family. When you're buying a single family property, it's, look, how much did I get approved for? I got approved for $500,000. You said you can't see me? Can y'all see me? You lost me. You can't see me. Can you see my screen? You can see my screen. All right, let me try to fix that. Sorry, y'all. Boom, we back. We back in action. Did y'all see George Washington? Did you see George Washington? Okay, you saw George Washington. All right, cool. So it got knocked out then. My connector got knocked out. All right, cool. Thanks for letting me know, y'all. All right, cool. We're going to watch that dude work. Okay. I love the fact that they taking down these slave master, what do you call them? Statues all over, throwing them in the rivers. Okay. So peep game. When you're buying a single family home, here's the decisions, 3 decisions. How much did we get approved for? 500. How much is the home? It's 490. Do we like it? Yes. Let's do it. 3 decisions when it comes to buying a single family home. When you are buying multifamily properties, there's actually 23 different numbers you need to know to effectively evaluate a multifamily real estate deal. This is a financial model that I built out over the past 6 years. And because I know these numbers and where to find them, I'm able to evaluate deals really quickly. Okay. This financial model down here in the lower right, once you plug in the things into the orange cells, it automatically tells you whether to purchase or pass on that deal. If any of these are red and says pass, then I don't do the deal, okay? So I see a deal. I have a deal usually sent to me via phone or email. I don't search on Truly and Zillow. That's where I know many of you search. That's not where I search. I find off-market deals. I evaluate the deal quickly. I text my agent, here's what I'm willing to offer. They send me a purchase agreement via dot loop. And within 15 to 30 minutes, I have my offer in of seeing that deal. And I've made offers on buildings blind, meaning that I've never even seen it, but I know that the numbers work. This is not based on emotions. Buying multifamily real estate is not an emotional decision. It is purely economic, okay? And so this is how I do deals, all right? Now, myth number 2 is I missed my opportunity. As I shared with you before, coronavirus and this recession has actually made this one of the greatest opportunities for you. We are actually undergoing one of the greatest wealth transfers in our lifetime right here and right now. And you won't see it until the chips all fall and get settled, okay? And when it comes to real estate, you don't miss opportunities. You might have missed one opportunity, but the reality is that you create opportunities in real estate. Opportunities plural, okay? By the way that you structure deals, all right? So you have to change your eyes. Many of you, your eyes have been trained by HGTV, and I need to change that, okay? I train your eyes to be able to see opportunities that you could not see before. A lot of that is just HGTV foolishness, calling you a home buyer or a homeowner. No, you're not. You're a home buyer, okay? Your first investment property won't look like anything on HGTV. None of my investment properties will ever be featured on HGTV, and I don't care, okay? And I know, ladies, you got good taste and design and things of that nature, but the properties that you own, that you control and you rent out, do not have to look like the properties that you lay your head down in. And I'm not suggesting that you give people poor conditions. I provide clean, quality conditions, affordable housing for my tenants. But the property that you rent out does not have to look like the property that you live in. Is that clear? Is that clear? All right. So a lot of you watching shows like the Property Brothers, I say screw the Property Brothers. I'm your new property brother with an A. I'm gonna keep it real with you about real estate. I don't care about granite countertops. All I care about is guaranteed cash flow. See, some of y'all go into properties and you looking at the wrong things. Some of y'all are enamored by Truly and Zillow because you're looking at pictures. The pictures, I could care less about the pictures, y'all. I want to make sure that the structure is sound, but I could care less about the pictures. That's not how I make real estate decisions. And I've been pretty good at making real estate decisions. So here is my first property, all right? I'll tell you straight up. My first property in Brooklyn is decent, but I knew it wasn't my dream home. It was not my dream home, but it made my dreams possible. This was not my dream home, but it made my dreams possible. Linen white paint, the same paint that they use in all the NYCHA project buildings in Brooklyn, linen white paint. The floors, the wood floors were very nice, okay? I'll give it to them on the floors. But these cabinets are from Home Depot and Lowe's. Look at the countertops. It's the cheapest countertop that you can get in real estate. My appliances, no stainless steel appliances. That's a white stove, but I did love that dishwasher though, okay? The only thing stainless steel in my kitchen is the sink, okay? The only thing stainless steel in my kitchen is the sink, and I didn't care because I had acquired an asset and achieved rent and mortgage freedom, okay? This is the mindset that we have to be looking for, all right? So let me just explain this really quickly. This is the difference between a single family HGTV buyer and a multifamily investor. Single family buyers, they're looking for granite countertops. Multifamily investors, they're looking for guaranteed cash flow. Single family buyers, they buy based on emotions. Multifamily investors buy based on economics. Single family buyers, they're looking for their dream home. Multifamily investors are looking for an asset that will pay for their dream home. Single family buyers are looking for a place to raise their kids. Multifamily investors, they're looking for a place to raise their net worth. Single family buyers, they're looking for a place to call home. Multifamily investors are looking for a place that other people can call home. Single family buyers are looking for a buzzword, open concept. Multifamily investors are looking to open up the possibilities in their life. Single family buyers are looking for a finished basement. Multifamily investors, they're looking to start building wealth. Which side of the equation do you want to be on? Type MI if you want to be a multifamily investor. Type MI, another version of me in, I think, Spanish. Okay? We got to draw lines, y'all. Now, if you do this side right, if you become a multifamily investor, I can guarantee that over time you will get the single family that you desire with no mortgage. But if you try to go the single family route first, it's not impossible, but it makes it harder for you to become an investor. All right? So the multifamily map, let me break this down. A lot of you are looking for properties on Trulia and Zillow. I want you to know that Trulia and Zillow are where multifamily deals go to die. Most multifamily deals, they happen through off-market deals, through what they call pocket deals, from agents, from lenders, from contractors, from wholesalers. Once a listing hits Trulia or Zillow, it has a 30% markup because now more and more people are seeing it. You have to learn how to get off-market deals coming to you, not just looking on Trulia or Zillow, okay? So this is the game. And a lot of you are shopping for deals and you have not even been pre-approved. Look at y'all, that's backwards. You don't shop for a property first. You shop for a lender first. You can find the greatest property, but if you don't have lending lined up, then you can't even put an offer in on that property. You shop for a lender first and not the property. Y'all are doing stuff backwards because nobody taught you the right way. Okay? So, look at this. These are off-market deals that come to me all the time. I got wholesalers. I got people who know that I look for multifamily real estate. I got students sending me deals. These are off-market deals. These are the kind of deals where you're going to buy it and you're going to win on the buy, meaning that you'll buy a $300,000 home, but you bought it at $275,000, meaning that you already have $25,000 equity in that home. The purchase price was $275,000, but it appraised at $300,000. Okay, this is what off-market deals do for you. When those properties hit Trulia or Zillow, now you're in a bidding war and you're paying $310,000 for a property that actually appraised at $300,000. That's not what we want. That is against the grain, right? You see one of my students, Ronique, one of my other students asked, how did you find the deal on Trulia and Zillow? He said, nope, I found it through a real estate financial broker who knew a wholesaler. This is a relationship game, y'all. This is a research and relationship game. All right. So I want to share with you the 4 eyes of real estate. Okay. The first eyes is eyes for the market. Okay. Eyes for the market. How do you know if a market is expanding or if it's contracting? Okay. Because some of you are in expensive markets and know that it'll be very difficult for you to buy there. For those of you in New York or San Francisco, et cetera, again, your money does not have to work in the same city as you. Okay. All right. I bought in New Orleans and Oakland from Brooklyn. In fact, I'll tell you this, y'all, I've never set foot in my Oakland property. I've been home to Oakland and visit my family, but I have never set foot in my Oakland property. The key to owning from a distance is having a great agent and property manager on the ground there. I've never set foot in my Oakland property, y'all. Okay? Yep, Damon, that's town business right there. For real, for real. All right? The second thing is eyes for the neighborhood. Okay? Eyes for the neighborhood. Literally, there are 38 signs of gentrification. Let me show them to you. 38 signs of gentrification. 33 signs of gentrification. Literally, if you see a white woman jogging at 9 o'clock in what used to be known as the hood, then guess what? That neighborhood is either gentrified or about to get gentrified. Okay? So I've identified 33 signs of gentrification. All of this is systematized. I know it in my head, but I've put it into templates so that you can learn it as fast as possible, right? So these are 33 signs of gentrification. This is how you evaluate a neighborhood. If a neighborhood has at least 20 of those signs, then you're good to go, okay? Then eyes for the property, okay? I don't look at this. I'm not looking for granite countertops, y'all. I'm looking for hidden value, and I'm looking for hidden cost. This is how I evaluate a property when I go in. Look, some of y'all are so enamored by granite stainless steel appliances, you realize that a stainless steel fridge costs like $800. Why would you be making a $400,000 investment decision based on a $1,000 appliance? That makes no sense whatsoever. Okay. See, our eyes are looking at the wrong things because of HGTV, and some of you are on overstock.com and you're buying, what's this other stock that just went through the roof? I think it was Overstock. Like, y'all are buying things because of what HGTV is training you to do. You have to retrain your eyes. Then you have to have eyes for the deals. Wayfair stock went through the roof because people sitting at home watching HGTV. Oh, I need that. I need to swap out. No, you don't. You don't. You need to be saving for your down payment. That's what you need to be doing. You buying furniture to fit in a nook in a place that you're renting. You buying furniture to fit in a nook in a place that you're renting. Come on, y'all. Like, that don't make no sense. You buying art for a wall that ain't even yours. Oh, this fits nicely on this wall. Wait until you get your home and then buy a piece of art. You want to see, this is my home. That's my art up there. Okay. I can invest in art now because this is my home. That is my wall and it will be my wall forever. Okay. So, do you need a real estate agent? Yes. You need a real estate agent, but I lead my real estate agents. I don't work with any agents that's not an investor themselves, that doesn't own multifamily properties themselves. You know, most real estate agents, they actually don't know how to calculate cash on cash return, which is the number one determining factor of whether you should move forward on a multifamily real estate deal. Cash on cash return is not on the real estate exam, y'all. Because real estate agents, they're primarily in the business of selling single family homes to American dreamers. They're literally in the business of selling single family homes to American dreamers. So you need a real estate agent to execute the contract and to negotiate on your behalf, et cetera. But I lead my agents. I tell my agents what to do. Some of y'all are signed up on you talk to a real estate agent. Oh, I want a house at this many square foot, this many bedrooms, this many bathrooms, this neighborhood, this price, et cetera. And then what do? They put you on some email list. And guess how many people that email is going out to every single day? Thousands of people. Seeing the same exact listing. Some of y'all don't even open the emails anymore. Stop me when I'm lying. How many of you on an email list like that right now? How many on an email list like that right now? That's lazy. You think you're gonna find a real estate deal when it's going out to thousands and thousands of people? No, that's being lazy, y'all. The way you win in this game is relationships and research, not being on a listserv. Okay? I'm trying to give y'all the game, but you gotta be willing to do the work. Okay? So, myth number 3. This one is going to give a lot of you a headache because some of y'all are Dave Ramsey fans and Dave Ramsey is pushing debt-free and things of that nature. And I just got to let you know that if you want to build wealth, if you're trying to be debt-free, it's going to hamstring you. Okay. So watch this. I need to pay down debt first. Not true. The truth of the matter is I need to buy an asset that will pay down my debt first. You don't have to pay down your debt. You need to buy an asset that will pay down the debt. See, Dave Ramsey, he lost a lot in real estate because he didn't understand the game. And so now he operates from a place of scarcity and risk aversion, right? And this is why he's pushing be debt free. He's not debt free right now. Go look at his balance sheet. I guarantee he's not debt free right now with the real estate that he owns. Okay? On top of that, you have to know that debt free does not mean financially free. I'm going to say that again. Debt freedom does not mean financial freedom. Financial freedom is when your passive income is greater than your cost of living. Your passive income. Just because you're debt free doesn't mean you have any passive income. You could be debt free, but all your income is still active, so you are not financially free. Financial freedom is when your passive income surpasses your cost of living. So I just want to be clear. Debt freedom does not mean financial freedom. Do I want you to be debt free at some point in your life? I would love that for you. Okay? If you can actually have assets that are paying you and creating passive income. But if you're debt free, but you still working for master and going on the corporate plantation every day, that's not freedom. All right? So I'm trying to keep it real with y'all. Okay? So a lot of y'all have a negative relationship to debt. And I told you this is a mindset shift because you've had bad debt. And bad debt is debt that you pay for. Good debt is debt that pays for itself and pays you. Bad debt is debt that you pay for, liabilities, and good debt is debt that you use to acquire an asset that then pays the debt and pays you, okay? So your single family home mortgage, that's bad debt. Student loans, that's bad debt. Credit card, that's bad debt, okay? So what you wanna do is you actually wanna acquire an asset like a multifamily property, and because you're no longer paying rent, guess what? Then you actually can pay off your single family mortgage. Because you're now getting cash flow, you use that cash flow to pay your credit card debt. Because you're going to get tons of tax savings from owning this property that you do not get for a single family home, now you take those tax savings and you pay off your student loans. So you acquire good debt to pay off your bad debt. You don't have to pay off the debt. You acquire assets to pay off the debt. This is the power of multifamily real estate, all right? Now, how many of you have student loans, y'all? How many have student loans? Okay, I'm gonna mess some of y'all up right now. 2 people have $40,000 in student loans. One person is going to rush to pay it off on the Dave Ramsey plan, and the other one is going to pursue my plan and acquire an asset that will pay off their debt. So watch this. The person who is going to buy an asset first, what they do is they buy the asset, a $300,000 property, right? Instead of paying down their student loans aggressively, they buy the multifamily home, and now they're rent and mortgage free. They're using the fact that they have no rent to pay off their student loans, as well as the cash flow, etc. Okay. The other person says, no, I'm not going to buy a property right now. I'm going to pay off my student loans at 4%. That's cheap money, y'all. So this person says, you know what? I'm going to pay off $20,000 per year for the next 2 years. I'm going to live really simply. I'm going to eat top ramen every single day and peanut butter jelly for lunch. Okay. So now they've paid off their debt 2 years later, but now they paid off their debt and they have no money because they put it all towards their student loans. They have no money. So now they have to save up money in order to make a down payment on that $300,000 home. But wait a second, y'all. What happened after 4 years to that home? What happened to the price of that home after 3 or 4 years? The price went up. The price went up. So now they're ready to buy a home. And guess what? That home now costs $340,000. So peep game, y'all. This person was rushing to pay off $40,000 in student debt and delaying buying a multifamily property. And now that same property that they could have got back in the day 4 years earlier now costs $340,000. So guess what? They rushed to pay off $40,000 in debt, and now they got it handed back to them in the form of a mortgage because now that property costs $40,000 more. Did y'all just see what happened there? They were rushing to pay off $40,000 in student debt and delaying buying an asset. Now they're ready to buy that asset, but it costs $40,000 more. So they just rushed, lived off top ramen and peanut butter jelly for no reason because they got the debt handed back to them in the form of a mortgage. This is why you do not need to be on the Dave Ramsey plan unless you are 100% fear-based. Okay? So when it comes to multifamily real estate and buying right, there's 4 benefits, okay? 4 benefits to multifamily real estate. First and foremost is cash on cash return, or which generates your cash flow. This one single property that I've showed you over during this webinar, over 30 years. Remember, this is a long-term game. This is not get rich quick. Over 30 years is going to provide me with $638,000 in cash flow after principal, interest, taxes, insurance, utilities, etc. $638,000. Next is the tax savings. This property, because I get to depreciate it and all of those deduct all those expenses related to the property over 30 years, it's literally going to save me over $250,000 in taxes. One single property, $250,000 that I'm not paying to Uncle Sam. Okay. The principal pay down is by who? Not by me. It's by the tenants. That will be an additional $225,000. And then if this property appreciates by 1% every year for the next 30 years, and the actual percentage is 3%, but I just did 1% to be conservative, that's an additional $104,000 in value 30 years from now. So this one single decision, this one single purchase will lead to $1.2 million shift in generational wealth for my last name. One single decision. This is what I wanted to share with you tonight. So a lot of people talk about securing the bag. You want to secure the bag, guess what? Secure a building. And that will secure your housing. It will secure your retirement. And it will secure your legacy. Secure a building. Get that in your last name. Leverage the FHA loan or the NACA program. And let's go get a property. All right? So with that, please let me know in chat, what was the number one thing you learned tonight? What was your greatest takeaway tonight? What blew your mind the most? The mindset. Mindset is a mental game. Y'all getting it. Mental real estate. We got to own that first. Landlord. Mindset. Everybody, mindset. I'm glad y'all got that. That's huge because that's what I wanted to get across. Okay? Don't pay your student loans down first. Okay? That's cheap money. All right? Cool. So with that, earlier y'all said if I rocked, I could share an opportunity with you. If you're no longer interested, then this will be your time to sign off. And I wish you the best. I hope you can take what I share with you tonight and put it into action. And I hope that you're able to acquire real estate. If you're really serious about this, you want to accelerate your process. You don't want to make mistakes. You want to learn from somebody who's done it and be able to scale beyond just one property. Because the reality is, guess what, y'all? I don't just want you to have one property. The first property is extremely important, but I want you to have an entire portfolio. In chat, please type portfolio. Please type portfolio. We need to get out of the mindset of, oh, I just want to be a homeowner. No, homeowner has a mindset of one property. We need to build a portfolio. All right. I want you to have a portfolio. All right. So for those of you who are still here, and it looks like a lot of you, we did lose some people, and that's okay. I wish them the best. I know that you're here because you're committed to generational wealth. You want to create passive income, and you want more freedom. And I know because that was me too. Okay. Now, there's many different ways to make money in real estate. You can be a real estate agent, like we talked about, tax liens, wholesaling, commercial real estate, property management, vacation rentals like Airbnb. But obviously, where I know how to do a deep dive and where I can teach you in depth is multifamily real estate. Okay. This is where my area of expertise is, and I'm one of the best in the country to teach it. All right. Now, for those of you who are like, Julian, for those of you who are like, I'd rather just invest in stocks. Well, like I said before, the S&P 500 over the past 20 years, I actually ran the numbers, and it only had a 4.23% growth rate. And it's very volatile, and you have no control over that asset whatsoever. And so I want you to have more control. I don't want you to have volatility. I want you to have predictability over time. So the $1 million question that we have to ask is, what are you going to do today to make sure that you are never economically vulnerable like this tomorrow? Some of you got exposed by the coronavirus. Some of you got laid off. Some of you got furloughed. Some of you are still in fear of losing your job right now. Some of you are on the chopping block right now and don't even know it. And so a lot of people realize that, oh man, I had a job, but I don't have any assets, right? I have a job, but I don't have any assets. And so we need to change that. So again, this is my real estate portfolio. For those of you who came in late, these are properties that I actually control. These are properties that sustain my life and more. Okay. And if you are like, I don't know if those are really his, you can go to nolaassessor.com, NOLA Assessor, the assessor's office in New Orleans. You can look up my name or Purpose Properties, which is my real estate company, and you can find my 8 properties in New Orleans there. If you need to verify or if you're skeptical in any way, it's all there at nolaassessor.com. So what I want to invite you all to be a part of is a program I created called the Multifamily Masterplan, which is a 12-week experience where I work with you through everything that we just discussed tonight and a lot more to make sure that you buy a multifamily home the right way. That gives you rent freedom for those of you who are renters, and or positive cash flow that pays another debt, if like a mortgage, single student loans, credit cards, or medical bills. The way this program works is it has 5 modules, which is to finance it, find it, finalize it, fix it, and fill it. And I'll run through those really quickly. In the Finance It module, I'll show you no to low money down programs and grants that you can use to start without a huge savings. What exactly are lenders looking for? The key numbers and ratios you need to be aware of. Quick credit fixes to improve your credit score, keep your interest rate down low, which will save you tens of thousands of dollars. The FHA loan debunked, the dark side of FHA that most people don't talk about beyond it being just 3.5% down. I'm going to take questions in just a second, you all. We're going to use the Q&A function below. We're not going to ask questions in chat. We're going to use the Q&A function. I'm going to take questions just a second. Let me just get through this, okay? Why you should shop for lenders first and not the home, and how to get the lowest rate possible, and why you should go as big as possible on your first purchase. Then in the Find It module, I'm going to show you how to find great deals literally in your backyard, how to use the internet and the specific websites you need to know to find and do due diligence on a deal. I'm not talking Truly and Zillow, okay? How to evaluate a deal in another state if you're investing from a distance, why the asking price that a seller wants actually doesn't matter, and the real metrics that make a deal worth it or not, and the people or tools that you need to, in place to get off-market deals coming to you daily. In the Finalize It module, I'm going to show you the 23 numbers you need to truly evaluate whether to purchase or pass on a real estate deal. My financial model that I showed you earlier, you'll all get that. How to quickly evaluate a deal in 10 minutes or less so that you can get an offer in before anyone else. The only thing that beats a cash offer is a fast offer. The 4 most overlooked numbers that can make or break a deal. Literally, if you miss one of the 23 numbers, it can literally mess up your entire deal. So you have to know all 23 numbers. How to never pay at or above asking price and get it reduced to whatever you desire without the seller walking away. And then the 5 ways to exit any deal if the numbers aren't adding up or something doesn't feel right. So you can get into a contract with a seller, and I can show you all the strategies you can use to reverse out of that deal if you're not interested. Fix it. The 10 types of contractors that you need to have and trust in and on speed dial once the deal is in motion. You don't need to develop your contractor team after you get the property. You need to have them before you even make your offer. And I tell you the 10 types of contractors that you need to have, how to vet that team, okay? Walk, crawl, climb, everything you must do and look for during the inspection process. The property inspection process is one of your greatest points of leverage in the real estate deal. Okay. Literally, I've saved people $35,000 through the property inspection process and strategies that I teach. Okay. First things first, what are the first things you need to do once you have the keys? Hint, it is not move in. And then fix it or nix it, what you should fix immediately and what can wait for later until cash starts flowing. And then finally, in the fill it module, your landlord now, how to avoid those 3 a.m. phone calls and manage a building without always being there, how to find great tenants fast if you have vacant units that need to be filled, what you need, who you need, and where to post. You'll get a free download of my sample lease agreement, and then long distance investing secrets, how to manage your investments without being there, and the top 20 markets to invest in now. Okay. Now, for those of you who are single family buyers, I know some of you had questions about how do I get myself out of the situation. Many of you typed messed up, and I thank you for typing that. That was not, again, to shame you. That was to educate all the people who are renters right now. I have a specific module in the special situations section for you called Single Family Homeowner, okay? This module outlines the 6 strategies that you can use to get yourself out of that situation. Only 2 of them require you to sell, okay? Only 2 of them require you to sell. Obviously, the 6th option is to keep your home and simply pay 25% down on a multifamily. But for some of you, you may not have a 25% down payment. And I will show you in that module how to use FHA twice. Okay. Now, here are some of the success stories from my students. This is the Royal family. This is what they said. Julian's journey has always been an inspiration to my wife and I. We didn't think we were ready, but Julian helped us see that we were. Now we own a 4-plex in Los Angeles that is already appreciated. It generates enough cash flow for my wife and I to both step into entrepreneurship full time while still being financially responsible parents of our 1-year-old daughter, Jubilee. This is the Campbell family. My issue was that I had a rental property that I wasn't cash flowing because I didn't buy right, as Julian always says. Thanks to his coaching, we came up with a strategy to sell that property and leverage it up into a multifamily unit using a 1031 exchange. We found a real estate attorney to transfer the rental property out of my name and into the LLC. Now that we've corrected our real estate wrongs and have a cash flowing Airbnb in Charlotte, which Julian taught me how to scale quickly, and a multifamily where we live mortgage free in one of the 2 units. All right. This is Dante. He's from New Orleans. I helped him find this duplex here in New Orleans that he and his family now own. They're now moving to Oakland, California, but he wanted to own a piece of New Orleans. This is Jackie Hall Cooper. She actually closed on Halloween of last year on a triplex and a single family in Philadelphia. She got it from a distressed seller at a discounted price. This is Spencer. He lives in Texas, but he bought a duplex in his hometown of Cleveland, Ohio. This is Romaro and his family. They live in Oakland, California. Obviously, that's an expensive market now, and they bought this duplex in Detroit, Michigan. This is Jason Bailey. He lives in San Antonio, Texas. I helped him find this duplex here in New Orleans, which is about 5 blocks away from me. This is Ronique. You saw him earlier. He joined September 9th, closed on this 4-plex October 4th in less than 30 days. And he's already at work on his next property, which he bought for $25,000, has a $45,000 renovation budget, and will appraise at, what did he say? It'll appraise at 175. So he's literally about to step into about $95,000 in equity with the strategies that I've taught him. Okay. This is Demetrius. He's one of our youngest students. He's also a vet. He joined October 17th, closed on this 4-plex in Killeen, Texas on February 24th. So proud of him leading the way for the younger generation. This is Steven. He lives in New Jersey, or in the Northeast, in the tri-state, in New Jersey, New York. He lives in New Jersey or New York. He closed on this property here in New Orleans because I'm trying to help people buy back New Orleans, make sure that it stays black. And he got this for $35,000 under asking using the strategies that I taught him. April, she closed on this 4-plex in 3 months. It used to be a beachfront hotel. She's actually going to live in 1 unit and rent out the other 3. She's also a traveler. Normally, I don't tell my students to buy single family, but Jay found this single family with $8,000 in equity in it, and she'll be able to rent it for profit as a single family. So she acquired that. Fernando, they actually live in LA and they found a property there and they're actually going to turn it into a group home. I don't teach the group home business model, but he said as a group home, the numbers are absolutely crazy. Then we've had students closing in the midst of Corona, y'all. Terrence, he closed on this fourplex with a VA loan in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He's moving into that bottom unit very soon. Jetro closed on April 30th on this fourplex in Gainesville, Florida, where he actually went to college. What is that? Florida State, I think. And then Sandra, she closed on this double for $15K, which she's going to renovate in Kansas City, Missouri. And then Nicole, she closed on this fourplex. I think Nicole's a single mom. She closed on this fourplex in Chicago, Illinois, recently on April 15th. And then one of our most recent closings is Devin. He closed in East Orange, New Jersey. He joined March 17th, closed on May 12th on a double in East Orange, New Jersey. This is happening in the midst of Corona, y'all. So the strategies I teach work, and these are just examples of them, all right? Now, the multifamily master plan, it would typically cost $1,999, but tonight I'm gonna show you how to get access to it for absolutely free, all right? I'm gonna show you how to get access to it for free. I repeat, I'm gonna show you how to get access to it for free, all right? I know you're probably wondering, what are you talking about? What's the catch, Julian? Okay, here's how it works. When you join the Multifamily Movement Mastermind, which is committed to creating freedom and generational wealth, I am on a mission to help 300 people or families acquire a cash flow positive multifamily home within 6 months of being pre-qualified, okay? So, Julian, what do you mean? You just said it was free, and now I have to join this thing? This is how it works. I've been teaching online for over 10 years now, and what I know is that only 7% of people complete online courses when left up to their own devices. Let's just keep it real in chat. Let me know if you have a book on your bookshelf that you intended to read but haven't cracked open, or if you bought a course and you've never taken action on it. Type me in chat or raise your hand. Okay? I'm guilty of it too. So what I want you to know is that all the information, the real estate industry has not changed drastically from year to year, decade to decade, okay? So all this information that I've packaged for you, it's scattered on the internet, on blog posts, YouTube videos, podcasts, books, and things of that nature, and you can go try to piece it together yourself, okay? But what you're paying for when you join the multifamily movement is actually the structure and the accountability that I give you to actually implement. I'm not here for the transfer of information, y'all. I'm here for your transformation. If you get the information and you do not integrate the information, then no change happens in your life. And that is a waste of everybody's time, okay? So when you are willing to pay for the accountability that I provide through the multifamily movement mastermind, then I will happily give you access to everything in my mind. That's what I mean by it is free. When you are willing to pay for the accountability and the structure I provide, I will give you access to everything that I know about real estate, okay? So the way this works is this is not just an online movement, okay? This is us here in New Orleans, MLK weekend of this year. 100 of us came down for my wealth and real estate weekend. This is me here. That's my daughter there in the pink jacket on her scooter, right? This is real people in real life making changes and creating generational wealth, all right? So the multifamily master plan is the course, but it's not even fair to call it a course, okay? Because the reality is only 20% of the program is actually online. Because as you all type today, we have to change mindset first. So there's videos that you have to watch, but that is not a majority of the program. 40% of the program will actually be on the phone, talking to agents, talking to lenders, talking to contractors, talking to wholesalers. You'll be building your real estate Rolodex by building relationships with people. And then 40% of the program will be in your shoes and in your car, actually exploring new neighborhoods and new markets, okay? Real estate is a contact sport, meaning that you have to be in contact with people and properties. A deal is, just because you're watching videos, a deal is not just gonna fall into your lap while you're watching a video. It is a game of research and relationships, okay? So 20% of this program is on the computer. Other 40%, 80% is actually pounding the pavement. So let me show you how this is structured. Every week you have a new challenge, and some of you might not be on the 12-week plan. You'll be like, Julian, I got to save more, but I'm ready to start now. So I'm on the 24-week plan. Some of you are going to be on the 36-week plan. It's up to you. It's go at your own pace, but the program is structured for those of you who want to complete it in 12 weeks. So it's the financial house cleaning challenge. Then it's the lender shopping challenge, the pre-approval challenge, the real estate agent challenge, the neighborhood knowledge challenge #1, and the deal of the day challenge #1. Okay. Then from there, you do your real estate team building challenge. Before you start making your offers, you build your real estate team. And then you continue to do the new neighborhood challenge and the deal of day challenge over and over again to make this repetitious. This becomes part of your day. This becomes part of your weekend and your habits until you find your deal. Yes, there's a deal out there with your name on it, and we just have to go find it. All right. So let me just take you through the course really quickly. This is everything that is outlined and laid out for you. And the way it's actually structured is every week you get two types of modules. One, you get your mindset modules, okay? And then you get your movement modules. So we work on the mindset and then we take action related to that mindset. You work on your mindset, then we take action related on that new mindset, all right? So this is the program laid out week by week by week for you so that you can execute in a very simple way, all right? Now, how do I hold you accountable? Every single week, we come together on Sundays and we have our weekly deal room calls. And this is where you can actually get coaching from me. There is no one-on-one coaching in this program. This is group coaching, but you can sign up to be in the hot seat where I'm coaching you, right? While everybody is listening in, because the same challenges that you're having, there's probably other people who are having that same challenge. And as people hear me coaching you, they start to understand my mindset. Okay. So every week we have our weekly real deal room calls where you have to report what you accomplished that week, right? What questions you have, and then what you plan on accomplishing in the upcoming week. This is an accountability system to make sure that this happens in your life. We have a short window, right? While this forbearance is coming June, July, August, when forbearance is over, we have a window that we need to prepare for to execute on, okay? Now, you will all get the Purchase or Pass Deal Analyzer, and this is absolutely priceless. This is my financial model that I use personally to evaluate real estate deals, to evaluate them quickly. You will all get that as members of the program. And you will all get a free ticket to come to my Wealth and Real Estate Weekend in New Orleans on MLK weekend, worth $599. You will get a ticket to come to that event live. That's where you saw the group picture up here. That was the folks who came to that weekend, okay, last year. So when you put the Multifamily Masterplan, the Multifamily Movement Weekly Deal Room Coaching Calls, the Purchase or Pass Deal Analyzer, and the live 2-day event in New Orleans together, that is worth $4,997, okay? Now, before I share with you what the price is, I wanna ask you this question. Would it be worth $4,997 one time to eliminate your monthly rent expense or single family home mortgage forever? Please let me know in chat. Would it be worth $4,999 to eliminate your single family home mortgage or your rent expense forever? Okay. Would it be worth $4,997 if all it did was help you acquire one cash flow positive multifamily home within the next year? All right. Would it be worth $4,997 if the only thing you learned was how to buy right so that you never ended up underwater on a real estate deal thanks to the deal analyzer? All right. So I'm seeing a lot of yeses. All right. So here's option number one. Option number one is going to feel free, but it's actually going to cost you the most. And that is you doing nothing. That is you continuing to read blogs, watch videos, and try to piece it together on your own. And while you do that and don't take action, the price of real estate continues to rise, and as well as rent, but your salary is not rising. And eventually the wealth gap becomes too wide for you to ever get across. Okay, so that is option number one. I do not want you to take option number one because I know where it's going to cause you to end up. Okay, now earlier you all told me when you had your Twitter fingers on, you're like, look, if you had to come up with $10,500, you was like, look, I would go get the money. You know, I'm about that life. Look at me. You know, I'll go get it. You know, I'll do what I got to do. Y'all was talking that game when we had this hypothetical situation. Now we're at a real crossroads. One crossroad that leads you on the path that you've been on, one crossroad that leads you to financial freedom, okay? To literally guaranteed millionaire over time, okay? So if you're ready to take action and you really want this in your life, then you can join for tonight for $1,497, $1,997, which for many of you based on your rent and mortgage, that's literally, I'm asking for 1 to 2 months of rent or mortgage to position you to never have to pay rent or mortgage ever again. All I'm asking, which I think is very fair, I'm asking you for the equivalent of 1 to 2 months of rent or mortgage to put you in position to never have to pay rent or mortgage ever again. So when you join at $1,497, you get access to everything immediately. You also save $597 on the program. And I would be happy to have you. So I reward folks who are ready to jump all in, go head first and say, I'm in, I'm fully committed. Money is just a form of commitment, y'all. Now, I see some people saying I don't have it tonight. How many of you need a payment plan? How many of you need a payment plan? All right. I see a lot of hands and a lot of yeses. All right. So for those of you, I know we're in the midst of Corona and there's economic shifts. And for some of you, money is funny right now. But in order to make your money unfunny, to get serious about your money, we need to acquire an asset. So I still want this to be accessible to you. So option number 3 is paying $349 per month for only 6 months. This is not a subscription that goes on indefinitely forever. I don't want that, okay? You pay $349 for 6 months, and then once you make that 6th payment, you have lifetime access to the program, just like those who paid $14.97. However, when you pay $349 per month, your modules do get dripped to you. When you pay one time, $14.97, you get everything, you get access to everything immediately. When you are on the monthly payment plan, your modules will get dripped as your payments come in, okay? The total payments there are $2,094. So when you pay one time, you save $597, okay? But if you need a payment plan, then this is there for you at $349 per month for only 6 months, okay? So again, you can go to multifamilymovement.com to take advantage of that payment plan. There's also links below to pay with PayPal, okay? So I'm gonna take questions in just a second. You'll use a Q&A function below. Now, let me share this with you. Given the situation that we're in, for those of you who need a payment plan, what I'll do is if you pay $349 tonight, I'll give you 60 days to pay the difference between what you paid and $14.97, and I will honor the $14.97 price for the next 60 days. So if you pay $349 tonight and then $11.48 within 30 days before the next payment hits, then you will essentially be paying $14.97. Now, if you need 2 more months, let's say you have a finance, you know your tax return is coming or something like that, you can pay $349 for 2 months today and 30 days from now. And then if before the 60th day, you pay the $7.99 difference, then I will honor the $14.97 price. I want you to save that money. I want you to save that money because I want every single dollar to go towards your down payment. I honor my value and I honor the value of this education that I'm going to give to you and the support and the accountability. But I want every dollar beyond that to go to your down payment. You have to realize you can go look at fortunebuilder.com, et cetera, or whatnot, and they charge $15,000 for what I'm teaching you. I went to one of their hotel meetings. It was 70% people of color there, and they're literally taking folks down payment for nothing. So I want to make this accessible to my people so that we can actually be on the wealth building trajectory. All right. Now, some bonuses. What if I don't have it till Friday? You have until Friday at midnight to make this commitment. I know some of you need to move some money around in accounts. Some of you don't get paid until Friday, et cetera. You have until Friday at midnight to make this commitment. Okay. You have 72 hours to make this decision. All right. 72 hours. Is that cool? All right. So I'm going to take questions in just a second. I just want to close up with the some of the bonuses. So bonus number 1 is the Fuel It module. So I want you to get the first property. The first property and buying it right is essential. But if you want to learn how to scale your properties from 0 to 1, 1 to 2, and 2 to 10, then I'm going to give you the Fuel It module, which shows you how I got the banks to continue lending to me because I was able to manage my DTI, which is your debt to income ratio. Then I told you on that one property, I was going to save $278,000 in taxes. I'm going to show you how to set up your infrastructure and your accounting so that you can maximize your tax savings. This is not tax evasion. This is tax avoidance by leveraging the laws that are in the books, leveraging real estate. You'll also get access to my Airbnb program called Overnight Success. I built a 6-figure Airbnb business. And for those of you who are Airbnb friendly cities, this is going to be very powerful for you. Okay. And then for those of you who are having credit issues, I've licensed this program from Tanya Rapley. It's called the Credit Etiquette Course. And it'll literally show you how to increase your credit score by 50 to 150 points if you follow her steps. Some of you need to just go pay for credit repair. Okay. Some of you have been trying to fix your credit score on your own. And you need to just go pay for credit repair. You pay $1,000 now, $500 now, and then it saved you $20,000 in terms of interest. Yes, you would pay the $500 now. So some of you need to pay for credit repair and just get those derogatories knocked off. You'll also get the Purchase or Pass Deal Analyzer online. Okay. The powerful thing about the Purchase or Pass Deal Analyzer online is that it's a place where you can save all the deals that you evaluated. And we have a community page called the Public Deals where you'll have deals shared with you by other members who are actually evaluating deals in your market. So all these off-market deals that we're finding, people put them in and they say, you know what, I'm not in position to buy a fourplex right now. I'm going to share this with the group. And if you're in that same market, you can take that deal, copy it to your folder, and now you can run that deal for yourself and see if it's a good fit for you. All right. So when you add in all of those bonuses together, the Fuel It module at $997, the Tax Secrets at $597, Overnight Success at $497, the Credit Etiquette course at $299, and the Purchase or Pass online app lifetime access at $199, everything that I'm giving you tonight is worth $7,586. All right. So again, that is not what you pay tonight. You can pay $1497 one pay and join, or you can pay $349 per month for the next 6 months and take advantage of all of that. Okay. So you say you don't know where to start. I'm giving you the Multifamily Master Plan and the step-by-step linear process that you must go through to execute on acquiring your first multifamily deal and doing it in the right way. You feel alone on the journey. You're the only one in your family who's moving in this way. Well, come join our Facebook group and our community and join the weekly deal room calls and be part of a community of people who are building wealth together. Okay. You're not that good at math. You don't have to be. This is what I call math for millionaires. And all of the equations are baked into the Purchase or Pass Deal Analyzer. You don't have to be good at math. I don't care if you failed calculus or algebra. It doesn't matter. All you have to do is know how to find these 23 numbers and find them quickly. Okay. You need help with building your wealth beyond real estate. That's what the Wealth and Real Estate Weekend is for. On day one, I share with you all of my wealth strategies beyond real estate, my tax strategies, my estate planning strategy, my legal strategies. Okay. And then on day two, we do real estate where we go look at my actual properties. We look at deals that we might be doing together, etc. Okay. You've already bought a home. That's what the Fuel It module is for. I show you how to reverse out of that, right? And build your portfolio up. Okay. Do you need an LLC? No, you do not need an LLC, but you do need to know how to set up your accounting properly so that you can take advantage of all of the tax benefits. And that's where REI Tax Secrets come in. The prices are too high where I am. I'm going to show you how to use Airbnb to actually increase your revenues from your property. Okay. And then if your credit isn't where you needs to be in order to get financed, then that's why I have the Credit Etiquette course for you. Okay. So again, you can join at $1497 one pay, get access to everything immediately and save $597, or you can pay $349 per month for 6 months. And you have until Friday at midnight Eastern Standard Time to do so. I also want to conclude that I have a coach until you close guarantee. A coach until you close guarantee. What that means is that I'm 100% committed to your success. Once you are pre-qualified, I take responsibility for your success as long as you show up and do the work, which means that you are completing course modules, which I can see on my end, as well as your worksheets, that you're analyzing deals, which I can see on my end, meeting people, building your real estate Rolodex, visiting properties, and making offers. I will be here until you close. I'm going to repeat that. I will be here until you close. Okay. This isn't some online course that you sign up for and then you never hear from the instructor again. I'm showing up for you every single week until you get to the closing room. Now, as a result of that, I will say this program, there are no refunds. There are no refunds. There are no refunds. The way I know that you get a return on the investment in this program is that you come in and you get to the closing room. If you get to the closing room, you're going to get a multiple return on the $1497 that you put in for this program. Okay. This is not a course where you're going to come in, go through the course in 10 days and be like, I want a refund. No, I know what I have works. And so that is not how we play here. Okay. Now, last thing that I hope will bless all of you is that I'm giving everyone here a free buddy pass, meaning that you can bring somebody into the program with you for free. That could be your best friend, which is your spouse or your homie, your blood, your siblings, your parents, or your kids, or a business partner who you're going to do deals with. I believe that I know that you will be more successful when you have somebody who's on the ground with you, who's encouraging you. Let's go look at some deals this weekend. What module are you on? What questions do you have? You will be more successful when you have somebody in your city who's actually about this life with you, rather than you trying to go at it alone. So I encourage you to bring a buddy into the program with you. And that is absolutely free. They get access to everything that you get access to as well. Okay. These are two sisters. These are Velveeta and Velvet. They actually are going through this process together as sisters to build wealth for their family. Okay. Now, if you join by, what is it, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the next 15 minutes, the only thing that your buddy does not get is the ticket to the New Orleans event. There is a discounted ticket for them. But if you want an additional free ticket to the Wealth and Real Estate Weekend for your buddy, then or somebody else, all you have to do is join by 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time within the next 15 minutes. Your cart or your commitment will be timestamped, and we will know, and you will get access to a free bonus ticket for that event. All right. So literally, you all are just one deal away. This one deal changed my life. I had no clue that I would be here after acquiring this first deal. But once I did it right, and I saw, once you get that first mailbox, it's no better feeling than getting that first rent check. When you like, wow, I did not trade time for money for this. It will, that alone will change your life. So we're trying to get that first deal, okay? And then once we do that, then it becomes a domino effect, y'all. This is how my real estate portfolio is literally unfolded. It started with that first deal, and it just keeps growing and growing and growing. And this is what I want for you. So for those of you who have started, who've already joined, I saw somebody say they already joined. Carleek said she joined, Gibbons. You'll get onboarded. You'll get your deal analyzer, start the online course, go through orientation. We'll have our weekly deal room call on Sunday, and you should be starting your first challenge this week. Your password, for those of you who are on the are joining right now and aren't looking at me, your password will be the word freedom, all lowercase. Your password will be the word freedom, all lowercase. Okay. Now there is a price of procrastination. Right now it's $349 per month for 6 months, or $1497 one time. After Friday, it will jump up to $3,997 with no bonuses. With no bonuses. Okay. You all told me it was worth at least $4,997. I don't want to charge you that because I want that money to go toward your down payment. But if you procrastinate, the price will increase and you will miss out on this opportunity. For those of you who are here at this moment in time, you will all be emailed tomorrow. I'm going to repeat, you will be emailed tomorrow the list of down payment assistance programs organized by state. I want to say thank you so much for being here. I know that your time is the most valuable thing that you have here on earth. And so I honor that. And I hope I've given you enough value in exchange for your time and your attention. So with that, I would love to take questions. The way we're going to do questions, we're going to use the Q&A function in Zoom. I'll let you know that there are already 51 questions, okay? 52 now. Hopefully some of them are repeat, and I'm going to go through as many as I can between now and the next 30 minutes. If I don't answer your question, it's not that I'm ignoring it. Literally, I'm going to answer the questions in order, okay? So go ahead and add your question to the Q&A, and I'm going to push through right now. Thank you so much for being here. I hope this information blesses you and puts you and your family on a higher financial trajectory. So first question is from Devin. Will this be emailed? Devin, I will send out a replay tomorrow so that you can share it with your buddy. So I will send out a replay tomorrow, okay? How much down for your first property? 3.5% if you use FHA. It could be 0% if you use NACA or VA. Okay. So typically we want to, the type of loans we try to go to, we try to start with VA if you're a vet. Then we go to NACA. Then we go to FHA, and then we go conventional. Actually, we go conventional, then we go FHA. So that is the order that we try to get our loan products in. Okay. Should you buy an investment, Lakeisha, should you buy an investment property if you haven't bought your first home? I've never been a home owner. I want to invest. Lakeisha, that's what this entire webinar was about. We want you to get your investment property first using the most leverage that you'll ever get, which is your FHA loan or NACA. And then from there, then you use the cash flow from that property to buy your single family. So that's what this whole webinar was about. Kamisha, I'm a single parent. How can I start to buy my first multifamily house? Kamisha, the fact that you're a single parent has no implications. Maybe it's having implications on your ability to save, but it has no implications on your ability to buy, okay? So I hope that the program, tonight's webinar, laid all of it out. I thought I was pretty clear and thorough. This is the game plan that we are seeking to execute right here. This is the game plan right here. For those of you that came in late, we're going from renting to having a rental to our primary residence. Okay, that is the play that we're trying to run, and there are nuances and things that you have to do there to make sure that you acquire this property right and that you manage it the right way so that you can get to the single family home that you desire without you actually paying a mortgage payment. Okay. Next question is, let me just get this here. Oh, for those of you who want to pay with PayPal and have money in your PayPal, there are links right under the green button here. So click over there. There are links. I'll actually put it in chat again. There are links right under here where you can pay with PayPal. When you go to PayPal, you can use debit or credit card. You don't have to have PayPal money. You can click this gray button that says pay with debit or credit card, and you can pay with PayPal in that way for those of you who want to pay with PayPal. Okay. Next question is from Maribel. I've already been pre-approved a few months ago by one lender. Should I try other lenders? Will that count against me? So 5 lenders can run your credit in 30 days without it affecting your credit score. Pre-approvals typically last 60 to 90 days. Maribel, in the program, there's the lender shopping module where I teach you how to shop for lenders and how to get the best interest rate and the highest pre-approval. So, and then we pit the lenders again. We make the lenders compete for your business. Okay. You're putting food on the lenders' tables. They're not putting food on yours. So we have to change the power dynamic there. Galaxy J7 Star, why would I apply to get pre-approved before I found a property? Galaxy, you need to know if you, based on your credit, your cash flow, and your cash, if you would actually get pre-approved for enough to buy multifamily in your actual market. And if you can't, then we need to plug the holes in your application. And if that's not going to happen, then we need to figure out how you can buy in another market for cheaper. It costs you nothing to get pre-approved, right? So we need to know where we stand. Some of you don't realize the bank will literally loan you $500,000 right now based on who you are and what you have, but you had no clue. So that's why that's homework. So again, remember, everybody, that is homework, is to get pre-approved by Friday, okay? Susan Gordon, my last name right here. What's going on, Susan? I would like to stay after the webinar. I would like to stay after the webinar, please. Okay, I don't know the question. Anonymous, what if I already own a home? Will the bank give me money for another home when I'm single mom of 3? If you already own a home, again, I laid out that module for you where I will show you the 6 options that you have to reverse yourself out of a single family home situation. Alexis, will I be able to get a link sent to me of this webinar? Yep, I'll send that out. Tamika, home equity line of credit to buy multifamily, yeah or nay? Tamika, we have a couple options. We have home equity line of credit. We have refi. We have a couple different options, and there's literally 10 or more follow-up questions that I would have to ask you to be able to determine that. What is your current interest rate? What is the new interest rate you would get? What is your credit, etc.? Every situation is unique, and I coach you to think like me and to ask yourself these questions so that you can come up with the best decision. And at the end of the day, it's all based on economics. Alexis said she had to go. Nakuyanya, do the government programs you spoke about apply for non-Americans? I do not. I'd actually. FHA, is it only for Americans? I believe so. But I am not sure. And I'm okay with saying I don't know. Next question, Maribel again. What about single homes that have separate suite apartment attached to it? That is considered a multifamily, but typically my students are going for triplexes or fourplexes for their first properties, not duplex. Duplex typically won't get you to rent and mortgage freedom. So we are trying to go for triplexes or fourplexes for our first purchase. How about getting land after buying multifamily? Unless you know how to grow something on that land, Angel, land is valuable, but it won't, and it may appreciate, but we're trying to create cash flow, and land does not cash flow by itself. Letitia, what about those who don't have enough recurring income? I'm currently a full-time student, but I have money saved. Letitia, you will not be able to get financed without consistent income. So we'll have to wait, but you can learn the game now if you desire to. I don't expect you to be, you're not going to be a student forever. So you can come get the game right now if you want to, but you're going to need income unless you can leverage your parents' income to purchase. Kiera, on average, how much should we expect to pay for property manager? Great question. Property managers typically 8 to 10% of rents. So if you have 4,000 in rents coming in, they're going to take $360 to $400 per month. What are those 23 numbers to make the decision? The purchase to pass deal analyzer right here, that is given to you when you join. Okay, that is priceless. I don't give that away. Okay. Do we want to refinance to get rid of PMI? Eventually, yes, we would like to refinance to get rid of PMI once we built up enough equity. Lakeisha, again, how do you feel about auctions? What if you don't want to live in the multifamily initially? How do I feel about auctions? Auctions are typically cash, so you typically can't get an auction sale finance. So you have to have cash to be able to work there, and you need to be able to get a construction loan because the auction homes typically need fixing. You may find an auction home that's not, but you typically gonna need cash because it's hard to get with the way the auctions work and when the money is due. It's hard to get financing. What if you don't want to live in the multifamily initially? Lakeisha, if you don't want to live in it initially, it's typically going to be 25% down. Okay, it's typically going to be 25% down. Are you using business credit or personal credit? Lorenzo, I use personal credit. I use personal credit. Most lenders, a lot of people have sold you guys these stories of, oh yeah, just go create an LLC and then go get business credit, etc. That's not how it works, y'all. It sounds easier. Than it actually is. So literally, Lorenzo, I can go create an LLC in 15 minutes. I can go incorporate in Delaware right now and get an EIN number. If I just started a company 15 minutes ago, even with you all knowing me now, would you finance me $500,000 if I just started a company 15 minutes ago? Would y'all finance me $500,000 if I just started a company with no credit, right? No cash flow whatsoever, no assets, no balance sheet? No. But there's people out here on the internet saying, yeah, just go start an LLC and then apply for credit cards in that LLC name. It's just like, that's not how it works, y'all. So no, all of it's my personal credit. Okay. Carlos, what's your strategy on investing internationally? Is it the same? Carlos, Carlos, I don't have any international properties. I only teach what I know. Kenneth, is it okay to use the LLC to purchase? I just answered that one. Anonymous, how can we use equity in our home to invest? $125,000 equity. You're in a great position. We have two options: a HELOC or a refi. So I would have to coach you to figure out which is the best option for you. Okay, it depends on your market, your interest rate, your credit score, your income, what your vision is, what your personal financial goals are, to determine which one is best for you. Kamisha, I'm a teacher and assistant and a single parent. Do I have to have a lot of money? How can I get started to create wealth? Everybody, if you have no money, if you don't have a lot of money, then you start with the NACA program. Okay, you start with the NACA program. Okay, start with NACA. But Kamisha, you being a single parent doesn't have anything to do with it. Okay, it has nothing to do with it. How do you manage your out-of-state properties? Property manager, 8 to 10% of rents. Okay, 8 to 10% of rents. My property managers take. Is there a program geared towards military? Yeah, I have I would say about 10% of my students are VA. There's no Kiana. There's no difference besides going through the VA loan, which is the best loan in the entire world. There is no other difference in this process. So there doesn't need to be a separate program for just veterans. You just have to go find a VA lender. That's it. Yeah, Kiana, it works the same. Alicia, what if you zero experience in real estate? That's what this is for. And you don't have zero experience unless you've been living outside. You don't have zero experience. You've had experience as a renter, so you actually know more about real estate than you think. You just don't know about real estate investing, and this is an A to Z program for that. Okay, so if you're ready to join, again, go to multifamilymovement.com. Multifamilymovement.com. That's $14.97. Okay, $14.97 one pay or $349 per month for 6 months. Like I said, you have 3 minutes if you want to take advantage of the extra bonus ticket to the Wealth and Real Estate Weekend in New Orleans. You have 3 minutes to join to take advantage of that fast action bonus. Okay. What is your daily, weekly time commitment to be successful on the plan? Is it feasible to do with a full-time job? LJ, great question. So the program is structured for 12 weeks. But if you have a full-time job and it's busy right now because you're undermanned because of Corona, et cetera, you may say, look, my realistic timeline is 24 weeks, or mine is 36. It's up to you. And it's based on how bad you want it. Some of you have credit in place right now. You have cash in place, and you have the cash flow, and you're ready. I'm ready, and your lease is coming up in 3 months, and you're like, I'm ready to get this done now. So everybody's going to have their own timeline, LJ. But if you are sticking to the 12-week plan, it's probably going to take you about 2 to 3 hours per week. Okay, that means watching some of the modules during the week, maybe 30 minutes one night and 30 minutes another night, and then a couple hours on the weekend going and actually pounding the pavement and seeing properties, meeting people, etc. Aaron, how long does the access to the purchase pass last? That's lifetime, Aaron. This program, once you pay for it, is lifetime access, and I update it. Okay. Anytime I learn anything new about real estate, I add new modules to the program. Will becoming a realtor help any? The only way becoming a realtor helps is that you will have access to the MLS and you'll be able to unlock properties immediately once you see a deal. That's the only way becoming a realtor will actually help. Okay. Xavier, at the age of 17, what should I be doing to prepare for this opportunity in terms of building my credit and gaining finances? Xavier, great question. If I were you, I would just make sure that just because you graduate, you haven't even gone to college yet. I would try to educate myself now, and then I would try to find an adult who actually believes in me and trusts in me and allows me to have them as a business partner. And so when you go to college, instead of you living in the dorms second year, go live in the dorms first year, but in second year, you actually buy a multifamily property near campus and you rent it out to friends and you build that asset for yourself and that adult who was willing to put their finances on the line. And that's what I would do if I were you. I would try to find an adult partner who wants their money to work, but doesn't have the time, etc. And you be that for them after your second year of college. Hans, may I have this recording? Yep, I'm going to send it out. With the Buddy Pass, what if I have 3 business partners? You only get one additional, we only allow for one additional person to be added. Okay. Tisha, is this course appropriate for an investor who already owns multiple single family homes who is interested in commercial multifamily? Tisha, the evaluation process, a lot of things, this course is not, I'll be honest with you, Tisha, this course is not primarily for commercial real estate, but to be honest, thinking about it, all of the same principles apply. I have 2 commercial properties. So the same exact principles apply, the relationships, the research, the deal evaluation, the deal finding, it all applies, but it's not designed. So when I think about commercial, the biggest thing about commercial is the difference in lending, okay? It's a different type of lender that you typically have to go to. And it's usually 20-year mortgages as opposed to 30 years. And they're usually an ARM, an adjustable variable interest rate, okay? So besides that, there's really no difference in terms of commercial, but this program is not specifically geared for commercial investors, okay? But congratulations on all those single families. To be honest, I would probably sell the ones with the most equity. I'd probably sell some and simplify your life by buying larger multifamily. All right. Khalid, can you put the different deals in clear graphic that I can read, or briefly repeat what is gained by signing tonight versus by Friday? There's no difference between signing tonight and joining on Friday. There's no difference, okay? You get everything. The only difference tonight, as of 2 minutes ago, was the extra ticket to the Wealth and Real Estate Weekend. But besides that, there's no other difference. Oh, for $349, your modules are dripped as your payments come in, Okay. When you pay in full tonight, you get access to everything immediately. I'm currently Hans. I'm currently working on 2 jobs and saving up for 20% down payment on investment property. However, I did not think about multiple properties. Send the recording, please. Yep, Hans, that's coming. Are you a multifamily unit? Are there multifamily units in Orlando? I hear that Orlando is actually a tough market to find multifamilies in. It's a lot of single family homes. Disney obviously owns a lot of Orlando. So we just find the next best market. It could be 30 minutes out. It could be an hour out. You may find it in a different state where you're from or where you went to college. We just find the next best market. Okay, we don't give up. I see questions coming in on chat. Please put them in the Q&A. Right now, we're at 172 questions on Q&A. So I'm going through them as quickly as I can. I'm going through them in order. All right. Eric, what about ones that say don't buy the property, but buy the land? Eric, I don't know who's saying that. Unless you can get construction loans, which are very tight right now because hard money is dried up, and you don't know how to grow anything on land, I would not buy land. My wife mortgaged the home we live in now, but just on the paperwork, can I qualify? Eric, I believe that you can. I would have to ask you some other additional questions, but you may be able to qualify. And there's actually a strategy that I give in the course for people who are married, okay, to double their wealth. Elizabeth, did you have an FHA loan when purchasing your Oakland property? No. I use my FHA on my Brooklyn property. Johns, can I get a recording? Yes, for your wife. I love when couples are going through this process together. It is the hardest thing to have your significant other not align with you on wealth building. That's got to be tough. Roxana, what if there's a group of us who are actually trying to do this together? Roxana, I give you a partnership agreement. I give you a partnership agreement in the course for how to do deals together. So let's say you're going to get a fourplex with 4 people and you are going to buy it together. I give you the actual partnership agreement that I've used on 2 properties and everything that you need to discuss together. There's about 20 different things you need to discuss and include in that partnership agreement for everybody to be clear. Like, when are we going to sell? Are we ever going to sell? When can we start taking draws on the account? When should we refi? What if one person dies? Like, you got to answer those kind of questions when it comes to partnership. Okay, it's not just like, oh, we're friends, let's buy together. No, it needs to be a legally binding document that is notarized. Okay. Do you permit purchase or pass? Do you sell purchase or pass deal analyzer independently? No, it is only for my students right now. A couple people have asked, but right now it's only for my students. Nikki, what if you have a single family now? Is it possible to get low down payment assistance? Nikki, again, in the program, I show you the 6 strategies. There are ways to use FHA twice. There are 5 ways to use FHA twice, and they're in that specific module that I show you for single family buyers. Thoughts on roof stock? Roof stock is cool. I don't know too much about it, but I do know that they don't evaluate deals as thoroughly as I do in terms of how they calculate cash on cash return. I give you your true cash on cash return. I think they give you a very surface level cash on cash return that doesn't account for some major things that must be considered. Jesse, I'm in OTR driver. That sounds like what is it? Isn't it on the run? Isn't that Beyonce? No, OTR. I don't know what OTR is, but what would be the best course of action? Jesse, I don't know what an OTR driver is. Overtime driver. I don't know what OTR driver is. So please, Claire, over the road, on the road. Okay, truck driver. I'll just answer it as if you're a truck driver. If you're a truck driver, look, you are traveling all over the country, and you, when you train your eyes to see the 33 signs of gentrification, et cetera, you may find a market that's on your route that most people just overlook because they're focused on these sexy cities when you've been driving through this one city that you see growing and developing and has cheap real estate that you could go and you could be driving by there collecting rent checks. Like, I would use that as an advantage. Okay. Mm-hmm. Alicia, if I pay $349 tonight, will I still get the 2 tickets to the event? If you paid by 10 p.m. Eastern, yes, you will. Kimberly, what is the best credit score to have to make purchase? The higher the better. But right now, FHA has a 660 requirement. A 660 requirement. It used to be 580 in February, but now it is 660 requirement for FHA. Okay. Catherine, what's the freedom code we can still use to extend the payment plan? No, freedom is your temporary password when you join. Freedom is your temporary password when you join. If you're going to do the 349 and then try to pay in full within 60 days, you just start with the 349 program and then you'll email support@thefreedomschool.com. Support@thefreedomschool.com. I'll type that in when you're ready to make your full payment. Support@thefreedomschool.com. My teammate Sharita will take care of you. Okay. So you pay 349 today. And if you pay before the 30th day, then you'll pay what, 1148 is the balance. And if you pay before the 60th day, you'll pay 349, and then 799, which will add up to 1497. No, there are no refunds. SH, there are no refunds. My guarantee is that you get to the closing room. When you do the work, I will support you until you get to the closing room. That is your return. There are no refunds for this program. What is your favorite real estate or financing investing book? To be honest, beyond Rich Dad Poor Dad, I haven't read any real estate books. I bought some and I started reading them, but I realized that real estate, you can only learn it by being in action. You can learn all the theory you want online, but you can only actually truly learn it by being in action. I'm going to take on 10 more questions. Do I have a course for purchase on Airbnb alone? No, I don't sell that independently. Shayla, what do I do if I'm already in an FHA duplex ready to move to the next? AJ, if you have equity in it, then we try to upgrade that to a fourplex. That would be my first goal if I were you. And again, there's 5 ways to use FHA twice. Okay. How much on average should we expect to pay our property managers? I answered that one. Julian, we live in a single family home. We are also landlords of a townhome that we own 90K on. Should we sell it and use that money to invest in multifamily? We have tenants who just renewed their lease last year. Tenants renewing their lease doesn't matter. You owe 90K, but I don't know how much the townhome is worth. Is it worth 160, et cetera? Does that mean you have 70,000 equity? So this is the kind of unique situation that I would coach you through on Sunday. And again, there's like always at least 10 follow-up questions that I need to ask to help you make a better decision for yourself. Okay. But I'd probably sell the townhome and then invest in a multifamily, either in that market or in another market. All right, about 7 more questions. Therese, do I need to have additional savings in addition to 3.5% for down payment? Yes, there's closing costs, Therese. Some of those programs that I'll send you tomorrow will help with that, or you may be able to roll the closing costs into the mortgage, and then there might be some minor repairs and fixes that you have to make to the property once you acquire it. So 3.5% down. If you're paying the down payment, the closing cost, and the repairs, you would want to probably save about 10% of the purchase price. But oftentimes we're trying to get closing costs either taken out or paid for by the seller to reduce how much money is out of pocket. You're welcome, y'all. 5 more questions. What happens if I want to buy outside of New York? I'm in Queens. Do I need an agent in every city I buy in? My friend's a real estate agent in New York. Yes, you're going to need an agent in that city. A New York agent can't buy property for you in Wisconsin or Chicago. Regina, I don't have time to start modules because of exams. I can pay, but is there time frame to start? No, Regina, you start at your own pace. Whenever you desire to start, you start. This is lifetime access. So you start when you're ready. Take your exams and then jump in when you're ready. Alexis, may I see the video again, please? I'm gonna send it out. How many hours per week is anticipated? I answered that one. What if I already bought a duplex through the bank already answered that one. Yes, I use property 1, 2, and 3 to buy 4, 5, and 6. So I teach you how to scale up in the Fuel It module, how to scale up and leverage your existing properties to acquire more properties. Gina, does access to your course ever expire? No, it's lifetime access. I'd like to have access to your classes and tools longer than 12 weeks or 6 months. No, it's lifetime access, y'all. It's lifetime access. How do you get around the debt to income ratio? I own a home currently. I teach that in the Fuel It module, Rogev. 2 more questions and we'll be calling it a night, y'all. I have an investment club with 9 people. We've been buying and selling stocks. That's great. We have an EIN number, all this stuff. Is this something we can do together? Yes, you can definitely do this together. But again, you'll want to use that partnership agreement in order to execute a real estate deal. Okay. What are CapEx, et cetera, that you mentioned? There's 23 numbers. Tebow, I think. CapEx is money that I set aside from rent. So let's say rents are $4,000. I'll set aside 10% of those rents, which is $400 every single month. I'll put it to the side. I'm not going to put it in my pocket and think that it's actually profit. I'm putting it aside for future fixes like the roof, the foundation, major plumbing, full painting of the exterior or interior. It's CapEx is capital expenditures that I'm saying, HVAC, for when these things are going to break, because those things are going to break at some point. And rather than being surprised when they do, you actually have money set aside for them. So that's one of the key numbers that most people overlook. They're like, oh yeah, HVAC can cost you $6,000. And if you haven't been setting aside CapEx while you've been receiving rents, then all of a sudden now your tenants don't have AC, and now all of a sudden they're reporting you or something like that because you're not able to pay that $6,000. So that's what CapEx is. So I teach you the full game, okay? Not just the fluffy side. It's more than just about getting rent checks. And I teach you in a way that protects you, okay? Can I use the equity from a condo for multifamily if I don't have down payment? Yes, you can, Carla. Let me get one more good question. What kind of financing is available after use of FHA to get my next duplex? That's typically going to be conventional. And Matthew asked last question, if you buy your home and then sell it to your LLC, can you use FHA? Matthew, doesn't work that way. The lenders have a clause called the due on sale clause. So if you try to deed your home into an LLC, they can actually call your entire note due and you'll have to pay the remaining balance of the mortgage immediately. Okay, so please don't try to trick the system, man. There are strategies, but don't try to do tricks. All right. So we had 208 questions at this time, y'all. I won't be able to get to them all. I think there were a lot of duplicates. So apologies if I didn't get to you. I'll put out the replay tomorrow, as well as your list of down payment assistance programs. I want to thank you for being here to this point. I would be honored to be your conductor on what I call the above ground railroad, which is multifamily real estate. Obviously, Harriet Tubman led the underground railroad, which was she freed 300 people over the course of a decade by making 19 trips below the Mason-Dixon line. Multifamily real estate for me is the above ground railroad. It's like been there in plain sight. We just couldn't see it. And I've been freeing people on this journey, including myself. And I would love to free you if you were willing. So with that, I want to say thank you so much. I wish you all the best, and I will talk to you soon, hopefully on Sunday. Much love, y'all. Peace.